I'm ready. All right, good morning. Let's call the Rankin County Board of Supervisors Planning Commission to order March 3rd, 2022. We'll start with a invocation and prayer. Mr. Mike Word, our EOC director, would say a few things. And look, if you don't mind, we've got Northwest Rankin's coaching staff in here, along with our championship caliber team. So if you don't mind, we're kind of in baseball season too. If you'd shed a little fond light toward the Northwest Rankin area in this prayer, we sure would appreciate it. So give us a little something, Mike.
Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. This is what you deal with every time. So, hey, when you're working with good folks, that's all it takes. So y'all keep that in mind. Let's pray, y'all. Father, we come to you this morning, and we just want to tell you that we thank you and we love you for all that you do for us. And Lord, this morning we just ask for some protection. We've got so much going on across this world. The folks in Ukraine, Lord, just tragedy all over this world. But we just need you to just concrete it in our mind that you are still in charge. You're the same God today and tomorrow as you were yesterday. But we know that this has not come as a surprise to you, and we just ask that you would just continue to keep a hedge of protection around us, around this unbelievable great country that we live in. And Lord, this county as well, that we would just always remember that we can do like John, just fall into your breast. Lord, we know that comfort. We just ask that you would keep it just first and foremost in our mind. Father, this morning, I'm not sure what's going on with these girls. I know that they have achieved great and mighty things. But Lord, with that aside, I just want to take just a moment and ask you to, Lord, just surround each and every one of these young ladies. That they would, Lord, just never forget of who you are. Lord, that they would just keep you first and absolutely paramount in every choice that they make through their entire lives. Lord, put a hedge of protection around these ladies. Father, as far as this Board of Supervisors is concerned, I would ask that you continue to give these men great wisdom, that they can make great prudent decisions for our county, that we would continue to be progressive and a place to grow our families. Father, we love you, and all these things we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Word. Mr. Nay, I know I called that Planning Commission meeting to order, but I'm going to postpone that just for a second and go into our Board of Supervisors meeting so we can recognize, finally, Northwest Rankin as a state championship. Now, coaches, I sit here and I watch Pearl come up here with their championships, Florence, Richland, and it just saddens my heart that Northwest wasn't in front of them. But today is a great day because our girls soccer team has won the state championship, and I can't tell you guys how proud I am of y'all. The leadership with Mr. Stein, all the way down to Coach Cooper, Coach Douglas, and the AD department, and the coaching staff for the soccer team. It's a great moment for Rankin County, great moment for Northwest Rankin. As a graduate of Northwest Rankin, I can't tell you how proud I am of you guys. I blew a state championship with a 15-point lead at halftime in a basketball tournament in 1990. So that tells you back. Now, most of y'all probably wasn't here in 1990, right? So, all right, but that's how delicate and how precious that state championship is. So I can't tell you how proud of you we are. Mr. Slay, our board attorney, is going to read a resolution that we have for you, and we'll ask you to come up, make a picture, and then we'll go from there. So, Mr. Slay, if you would, go slowly because this is Northwest Rankin, and we need to let this soak in for a little while. That's right.
Make it last. We really are pleased.
That's right. Give me a week, man.
Northwest Rankin High School, the girls soccer team on their 2022 MHSAA Class 6A title. Congratulations, lady. I'm going to read this resolution. At some point, you're going to hear your name called. Hopefully, it will be pronounced accurately. Assume, for the sake of our time here, if it's close enough to your name, come forward when you hear your name called or something close to it, okay? So each lady, we want to recognize each lady. Coaches, administrators, we're grateful that you were able to come today as well. Parents, the friends that are here, welcome to our time together. So I'm going to start the resolution. When you hear your name called, come forward and stand up here. We're just going to kind of line you ladies up, all right, in multiple rows here. I'm calling them by classification, too. Whereas the Northwest Rankin High School girls soccer team won the 2022 Mississippi High School Athletic Association Soccer Class 6A State Championship in convincing fashion by defeating Clinton High School 2-0 in the championship game played at Ridgeland High School. And whereas this talented group of athletes competed at the highest level in a total team effort that resulted in a season record of 22-1-2. Members of the team are seniors, Mallory Tapper, Carson Harper. Oh, she's got hardware.
That's right.
All right. Emily Welch. Abby Hornke. Did I get that right, Abby? Our juniors are KK Morris, Lily Lyle, Haley Roth, our sophomores are Emerson Bryant, Cameron Sistrom, Anna Ashley, Ashlyn Dodd, Jaden Newman, Chloe Horton, Allie Sifford, and Ava Rogers. Our freshmen, Allie Vancour, T.G. Sims, Emily Dixon. Y'all can form multiple rows here for me, thank you. Mila Thortis, Kate Gray Nesbitt, Sydney Claire Singh, Emery Norsworthy, Zoe Brown, Katie Hennington, Chrissy Tenner, Kaylin Ubry, okay. Carson Webb. 8th graders, Katie Sasser, Sarah K. Foreman, Riley Shaw, Amelia Barnes, did I get that right? Grace Harmon,
Put them all right there. Yeah.
Emma Alexander,
Load up.
Isabel Smith, Kaylee Ott, Delilah Roberts. Okay. 7th graders, Parker Morris, Anna Claire Sherman, Madeline Martinez, Kenzie Horton, team manager, Mary Michael Barnes, Hadley Lindsay, Reagan Ferguson. Our team trainer is Daryl Bradley. Did Daryl make it with us today? Bless his heart, he's been by himself. Whereas here's, guys, we always do this with when we have state title holders, when we have state championship teams come, I always ask the question before we do this. Tell me the most important statistic that this team has compiled. It's not goals, it's not goals against, it's not
Grade point average.
all those other things. It's what you're doing in the classroom that really matters. And so the most impressive statistic compiled by the Northwest Rankin High School girls soccer team is their overall team GPA,
Yep.
which stands at 3.7.
Wow.
Fantastic. Whereas the Northwest Rankin High School girls soccer coaching staff is under the direction of head coach Carly Little. Carly, come forward, please. When I call your name, I got to tell the coaching staff the same thing I told y'all. You hear your name call, come forward. All right, here we go. Assistant coaches Dalen Britt and Kelly McGinnis. Our principal is Ben Stein. Mr. Principal, thank you for coming today. Appreciate you being here. And the administration of Northwest Rankin High School are to be commended for their outstanding commitment to both academic and athletic success. It's now resolved by the Board of Supervisors that we commend and congratulate the members of the Northwest Rankin High School girls soccer team, the coaching staff, and the administrative leadership of Northwest Rankin High School for their championship 2022 season. On behalf of all of the citizens of Rankin County, we extend our heartfelt wishes for continued success on and off the soccer field. That resolution is resolved today, March the 3rd. It's signed by each of the members of the Board of Supervisors and by our Chancery Clerk, Mr. Swales. Mr. Stein, I've got the original of the resolution I'm gonna hand to you guys, before you go, but let us say, congratulations, ladies, on an excellent, excellent season. You are to be commended, and we're really proud to be able to recognize you before the entire citizens of all of Rankin County. Congratulations.
Hey, Craig, let me add one thing. We got our athletic director and our assistant athletic director, Coach Cooper, Coach Douglas. Y'all come up with the AD side of everything. Our administration will put you on the point. Maybe let Douglas lay down in front down there or something. But y'all come up. And also, if we can put Mr. Stein in the picture on the same point. Somebody pass over a phone or whatever. Dwayne, you take his phone from him, or? I'll take it. So, Sheriff, you want to come up? Hop in the side? You good? So.
All right, cheese, pearly whites.
Yes.
Go Cougars.
Coach, did you want one on your phone?
She,
You're good?
yeah,
Y'all good?
she takes care of us.
All right.
Guys, thank y'all. We
Thank you.
All
appreciate
right,
y'all.
Thank you.
Proud of y'all.
Congratulations.
Proud of y'all.
Congratulations.
We'll see some of y'all back next year, maybe. Okay, okay, got it.
Hey, congratulations.
That's right. You made it back.
Got pretty strawberry blonde hair.
I thought we turned YouTube off. Chuck, did you get all their names in order?
Did it work?
The card system's down. Okay. That's right. That's perfect. That's good work. That's good work.
Here. Somebody wants to
Okay.
speak about it. He's actually a fireman.
Okay.
He's one of the firemen, but he's also
Okay. All right.
emphasized just how hard
All right.
he's out there.
All right, so Mr. Slay, I'm going to move out of this Board of Supervisors meeting back into our Planning Commission. I know I'm jumping around a lot for you, but Ms. Renee, we'll start the Planning Commission. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes under item number 2.
Move.
So motion by Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. Item 3, old business. Ms. Renee?
Okay, so the old business is the proposed zoning text amendments, and there was one change from the last time when we were here. This has to do with the Reservoir Community District and billboards. We were adding a section on billboards, and number 2 is different right here. It says billboards shall be a minimum of, we need y'all to help us with the distance from other billboards that are located on the same side of the road, and if y'all are good with that wording.
1.5 miles, and it must be a zone C3 with a conditional use.
A mile and a half apart.
Yeah.
C3?
C3 with a conditional use. That's in here, that wording. Okay.
So this is set for the public hearing on the 7th. Is that correct?
It's already been set,
Okay.
so we're
So
good
do
on
you need
that.
any action from us on that, or are you
No.
just making us aware?
And just getting that information, so we'll have it.
Jay, you good?
Yep.
Anybody else on the zoning stuff? Brad?
I'm agreeing.
Jude?
I'm good.
Gang? All right, item number 4, new considerations. Ms. Renee, item number 1.
All right, so the first consideration is a conditional use permit for Bottomland Properties LLC and Frontier Holdings LLC on Cold Bluff Road. They are seeking the conditional use permit for development of a rural subdivision. It is a 182.58 acre tract. It's zoned A2. That's an aerial view. And this is their survey plat. There will be a total of 9 lots, No lots will be less than 10 acres. All of the lots have frontage along Cold Bluff Road, and they meet the minimum lot width requirement of 150 feet. We did receive a set of restrictive covenants along with the application, and the minimum heated and cooled square footage for homes is 2,200 square feet. They're here today if you have any questions for them, and these are views of that property.
Renee, I've looked at it, I haven't met with them, but the conditions are good.
Okay.
For our area, that area, it's gonna improve the area.
Okay.
Set it.
Yep.
Can you go back to that first picture, please?
Of the,
Well, look,
this one?
all of them have.
Which, this one?
No, the first, the one you just.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
So it's that
Get to
area.
That back one back there.
They all, see that, it comes all
It's
the way-
outlined in
Yeah, I see
red.
that. Is that all?
All that right there.
150 feet right there, Jay.
Yeah.
Serves for that access. 150 feet right there that serves access here and here.
Oh, okay.
So they've got
They all
road
go
frontage
that way.
with 150 feet. That's the minimum requirement on rural subdivision.
All right, so
Got that 150.
got a motion by Mr. Gaines, set the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like signs? Item 1, public hearing is set. Item number 2, Mr. Renee, and I'm ready to hear you pronounce it.
Go ahead.
All right, so the next is a dimensional variance request for Zinhong Zhang on Castlewoods Boulevard.
Good job.
Ms. Zhang is seeking the dimensional variance from the minimum lot width on lots 1, 2, 3, and 5 of the Retreat at Castlewoods subdivision. It's a 4.74 acre parcel. The property is zoned R1B. That's an aerial. That property's just south of the assisted living there at Castlewoods. And this is their preliminary plat. It shows a total of 11 lots. R1B requires a minimum lot width of 70 feet, and they're seeking a variance on 4 of the lots, a variance of 9 feet on lot 1, 8 feet on lot 2, 8 feet on lot 3, and 5 feet on lot 5. The application states that they believe the variance is needed due to the shape of the land. I'm not sure if anybody's here today or not. This
Mr.
is-
Renee, I wanted to add one thing to that. The depth of these lots are the size. I mean, they really go deep. So they go long ways rather than across the front. And these are 3,000 square foot homes in that area. Just for knowledge that this should really improve the price values and things, values of the homes in Castlewoods. So I'll make that motion to set that public hearing for the
Second.
So motion by myself, second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with a like sign? Item 2 passes. Item 3.
Is a conditional use request for the Hindu temple on Vernon Jones Avenue. The temple is seeking the conditional use permit for a multi-phase expansion of their existing campus. This is a 5-acre parcel. It's across the street from their existing facility, and it's zone C2. That's an aerial view. And this is their site plan. Phase 1 will include clearing, grading, gravel parking, drainage, and storm detention ponds, which is this area, and detention. And then the future phase is outlined in red, future phases, and they will include asphalt paving, construction of 3 1,500 square foot police quarters, which are here, and then a 5,400 square foot community center shown there. This is a view of that property. And these are surrounding properties. That's the existing temple.
We met this week, it all looks good, we need to do some engineering, so hopefully by the 15th, we'll have a game plan.
All right. Set.
I'll make those.
All right, so motion to set the public hearing by Mr. Bishop. Second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like signs? Item 3 is set. So item 4, Mr. Renee?
Okay, item 4 is a conditional use request for BG Capital LLC at 1123B Old Fannin Road. They're seeking the conditional use permit to operate a laundromat in Suite B of the Exxon convenience store. It's a .96 acre parcel at Zone C2. That's an aerial view. And then these are their floor plans. There will be no exterior modifications to the building other than signage. They're proposing hours of operation as 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. That's the Exxon store. That's the suite that's vacant where they'll be locating. And then these are views along Old Fannin of surrounding properties.
All right, I'll make the motion to set that public hearing on the 15th. Second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. Item number 5.
Is a rezoning request for Mark Vincent on White Road. Mr. Vincent is seeking to rezone 22 acres from RE1A to RE1. He's proposing a development with 5 lots ranging from 2 acres to 6.5 acres. That's an aerial of the property. All 5 of the lots will have frontage along White Road, and they'll meet or exceed the 100-foot minimum lot width. These are views of that property, and I think that someone is here today if y'all have questions on it. These are surrounding properties.
Hey, do you know how big those houses are that are going there?
22, wait, just let me see, just a second. Well, I'm not sure about the square footage exactly.
Is he here? I don't think so.
I think that
One of the guys lives down the street had called me just to ask what the square footage was. I didn't know.
He said they would cater to a market.
Huh?
He said they would cater to a market of $425,000 to $600,000, so they'll be nice sized homes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they need to be. That's what the only thing, can you follow the road? You have a, right?
Did you
let's
help
see.
him with this one?
Okay, right there. When you're going on, past that bridge and you're going up that hill, you can't see it from this,
Do you have a
this
picture?
picture.
Yeah.
But Dwayne, you know what I'm talking, you're gonna know what I'm gonna say.
Not that
It's,
one.
Keep going. Keep
we're
going.
gonna need to look at where that driveway's gonna have
Right
to
back
enter.
up.
Cause that's a dangerous hill.
Yeah, that's the hill you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
top
gonna
of it
need to,
there.
yeah, it's gonna have to enter somewhere up here at that corner.
Real close to the property line.
Yeah, because you're down the hill, that's a blind hill already. She nearly wrecks there now, people looking around, yeah. But, yeah, that's my only thing, I can see a drive, and make sure we know where that driveway's going. Yeah. That'll be the, I guess, 2 acre lot, what I'm, for, well, he's saying 5.
I can't
It'd
see
be
it.
up- it-
No, that's
Oh,
5, the number of the
Oh, okay,
lot.
5 is,
We
It's a
can't-
pretty good sized lot. It's,
yeah.
There's a drawing in there. What we labeled
Well,
it.
that little number 4 is gonna be down there in that bottom by that creek then. Okay, I got you. I'll make a motion to set the public hearing.
All right, so
Second.
motion by Mr. Morrison to set the public hearing on the 15th. Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like signs. Item 5 passes. Item 6, Ms. Renee?
All right, it's a conditional use request for David Vinson on Gablewood Trail. Mr. Vinson is seeking the conditional use permit to place a new double-wide manufactured home on this property. It's a 3.75 acre parcel. It's zoned RE1. That's an aerial view. Mr. Vinson lives on this property and has a home on it as well. RE1 doesn't allow manufactured homes unless you qualify under the hardship section. He says that the home will be occupied by a friend who is disabled and in need of assistance. If he's approved for the manufactured home, he will deed out a separate acre. That's his site plan. And then this is a view of, that's his house. That's another view of his house. And then this is where the manufactured home will be going. And these are surrounding properties.
Your current policy for hardship situations like this has focused on family members. So this request would deviate from what has been the policy of the board. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that this request is different from what we typically see in hardship considerations.
All right, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the 15th.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed with light sign. Item 6 passes. I don't see anything under item 5, Mr. Renee.
No, sir.
Site plan architectural review.
We don't
Item
see.
6, nuisance hearings. Mr. Slay, good morning. We'll start with item number 1.
Item 1 is the nuisance consideration for Michael and Sadie Lee. This nuisance property is at 149 Holly Hedges Drive. This is District 1 property. I'll ask either Mr. or Mrs. Lee to be prepared to come forward, or anyone speaking on their behalf, to be prepared to come forward. In the meantime, Ms. Renee, if you'll demonstrate with the photographs.
All right, so we received a complaint that someone was living in a camper and about rubbish and debris on November of '21. These pictures were taken on the 15th day of November. And then these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
All right, good morning. If you would, just introduce yourself to the board with your name and address, please.
My name is Michael Lee. I live at 149 Holly Hedges, Florence, Mississippi.
Okay. Jerry?
Okay,
You want the,
Yes.
which?
what, is somebody living in the travel trailer?
In the travel trailer?
I guess, isn't that what the one?
Yeah, that's my camper trailer. My ex-wife and I bought that. I hang out in, it's my man cave. If I have lady company at night, I don't have that around my grandson. My daughter, and her husband live with me.
Well,
I do agree, the old van back there in the back, yes, I would love to get rid of it. Right now, I got a $1,000 generator sitting off in it, pressure washer. I do whatever I can do to make some side money here and there. That Z71, it does run. I don't drive it. That's truck I'm gonna give to my grandson when he, as long as he does good in school. Right now, he's only 4 years old, so he's gonna have him a nice little,
lived there a long time.
nice truck. Like I said, the van, I guess I would love to get rid of it.
Well, what can you do about moving it? I mean, what I'm getting at, something's going to happen to planes. And let me go tell you, we don't ride around and look for this. We get a complaint or get multiple complaints, and then our department moves forward and does what they do. It's no different than if the sheriff's department gets complaints about something, he has to investigate it.
Well,
So
I mean,
it's not gonna go away, so what are you gonna be able to do to clean it up? They're gonna
like I said, I got a
continue.
generator and stuff in, I have to talk to my neighbor about, being able to access his backyard to pull it out. When
You
it was,
just trying to pull the van out?
pull the van out, yeah. The
I
van
get it.
doesn't run, I've just been using it for storage for equipment.
I got you.
Um,
If you were somewhere else other than where you are, stuck right up in there, it probably wouldn't be an issue, but where you're sitting, I mean, I know where you are.
yeah, I mean,
You don't have-
if you know where I'm at, then you should know, down the road, going back this way,
I know.
right down the road, there's a place over there that looks like a garbage truck done backed up and dumped.
And like I said, if someone files a complaint on that, then we'll investigate it also. We're not, I mean, if you want, you can file a complaint on it, we'll investigate it.
It's none of my business. If I don't want to look at their property, I turn my head.
Okay, all right. I'm just telling you the way it works.
That's
So,
another,
we're just dealing with your situation here right now. All right.
that right
They're
there,
not supposed to live
Is
in
the sewer
a
hooked up?
travel trailer, huh?
Is the sewer hooked up to it?
no.
Power?
I do have power to go into it with my batteries.
You're not
No
gonna be
water.
able- Well, you're not gonna be able to continue living in a travel trailer.
No, it's just a hangout.
Well,
And, yeah, I'd like to go back to LaFleur's Bluff in it, you know.
well, it's a hangout, but you still, in a sense, living in it. You just said,
There's several other people in our neighborhood that has campers and,
back again, and I don't mean to cut you off, but we're not talking about them.
right.
If somebody
Well,
wants to turn them in, and that we'll do them the same way.
Yeah.
Right now, we have to deal with what you have, and that's what I'm trying to work with you, somewhat, but something's gotta change because they're gonna come right back to us and say, this is still a problem. And so,
Yeah, I think this
we're
one's
gonna have to change, so
probably.
you need to tell me what you're gonna do to solve the
Yeah.
problem, or we're gonna.
This,
have
this one's
declare
probably
nuisance.
right, Jared, just let Justice Court deal with it. That'd be my thought, just declare it a nuisance and tell Renee to send it on up to Justice, and let the judge handle it.
And in between that time, you got time to get some things done, because once it goes there, they're gonna make you clean it up.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what we're trying to work with you on it, but you've got an excuse or reason why, or something down the road and hit the road, so we'll just let the court decide.
can
what
you
they-
go
they
back to
wanna
the, other picture of the front yard? The stuff in back, like, you see like the basketball goal thing? That's my grandson's toys. Yeah, he does have a lot of toys out in the yard.
do. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well,
like I said, I don't mind cleaning it up. I guess I do want to get rid of that van.
we'll go start cleaning it up, because you'll have a little time before it gets to justice court, and that'll give you plenty of time.
Okay.
And then they can decide, if they tell you leave all that there, then, hey, we've done what we can do. Okay,
All right, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Mr. Morrison?
okay. So this time, I'm just gonna declare it a nuisance, and like I said, it'll be declared that way. They'll decide, you get some of it cleaned up, but they're gonna make you clean some of it up, and they're gonna tell you you're not supposed to stay in that, camper trailer. They know that, we know the way the ordinance is, and I don't think you're gonna sell them on that you just stay there as a man cave.
Yeah, it's just a
But
place I
if
hang out.
if they believe it, then they won't go that way, that's their deal.
All
Okay?
right.
Will I
Thank-
get a
thank
letter
you.
or something about, the court?
They'll notify you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
they will.
Appreciate it.
It'll be
Thank
okay.
y'all.
Okay,
So
thank you.
we'll close that public hearing,
Yes.
entertain a motion from Mr. Morrison to
Just
declare it a nuisance.
and
Declare it a
then you've got
nuisance into
time to get
justice
something
court.
done. Okay?
Second.
Be notified.
So a
Okay.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign? Item number 2. Mr.
Item number
Slay.
2, Mr. President, is
Did you
the,
lose your coffee or something? I saw you
No,
looking
no,
up. You know where it's
no,
at?
Miss Denise is making some more
I
coffee,
got
so
you.
I'm
All
I'm
right.
patiently waiting.
I got you.
But thank you for asking. 'Cause
Item
that
number
is
2.
very, very critical.
Well, I thought
that
you were
get my
looking for it. I
coffee.
was scared you. Look at Janice.
Item 2 is Randy Owens nuisance property at 347 Kimberly Avenue. That's a District 3 property.
Janice.
We'll ask Mr. Owens or anyone representing Mr. Owens to prepare to come forward. Ms. Renee, if you'll demonstrate with the photos.
All right, so we received a complaint in January of this year about rubbish and debris, appliances, and inoperable camper, and a fence in disrepair. These pictures were taken on January 6th. This is in the Robin Hood subdivision. And these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
All right, good morning. If you would, introduce yourself to the board with your name and address, please, sir.
Randy Owens, 347 Kimberly Avenue,
All right,
Brandon, Mississippi.
Mr. Calhoun.
All right, what's going on out there, Mr.
Well,
Randy?
since my grandson got hung out there, I just kind of been lost. So I just neglected the place. I'm willing to clean it up, get it back like it used to be. I'm kind of getting out of my depression now. You know, I had to get him out of the tree and all that, and it just kind of tore me up. But that's all I got to say.
When did your grandson get home?
2016.
2016.
I make a motion, Brad, give him 60 days or something like that.
All right, we're gonna declare it a nuisance, and we'll give you 60 days to clean it up. If it's not cleaned up in 60 days, it's going to justice court.
All right.
That work for you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right,
Thank
so we got a motion by, we'll close that public hearing, Mr. Slay. We got a motion by Mr. Gaines,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Calhoun for a 60-day stay over, and then 2, declare it a nuisance. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign? Item number 2 is sent to justice court as well. Item number 3, Mr. Slay.
Item number 3 is the Thomas Clark nuisance property at 302 Keith Avenue. This is District 3 property. I'll ask Mr. Clark or someone representing Mr. Clark to be prepared to come forward. Ms. Renee, if you'll demonstrate with the photos, please.
All right, so these pictures were taken October 11th of '21. Rubbish and debris. dilapidated fence, vehicles. And then this manufactured home has been brought in, I think, for storage. These pictures were taken on the 2nd of March, yesterday.
All right, if you would, introduce yourself to the board with your name and address, please.
Thomas Clark, 302 Keith Avenue, Brandon, Mississippi.
All right, Mr. Clark, Mr. Calhoun.
Mr. Clark, I mean, I know this is the second time you've been before me. Is
Yes,
there, how many times have you been
Multiple through the years.
multiple?
Yes,
I mean, what's it gonna take to kinda keep it somewhat
I mean,
cleaned up and not having to come
I
before?
mean, right off the pictures that she took that showed all the stuff, she didn't take the pictures where it's not there anymore. I've even went behind the fence and closed up the fence, so you can't even see through the fence anymore.
These are the
That
new
mobile
pictures.
home, I have cleaned out. I hadn't got started tearing it down yet, but it's cleaned out to tear down.
Ms. Renee,
I mean-
can you show the pictures from yesterday?
Yes, these are the pictures from yesterday.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I've got them right here on my phone that show a whole different story.
Well,
All right,
it's got the
that's
date
all
on
right.
it.
Well,
I'm looking
basically,
right there at
yeah,
the
basically, we're just gonna,
picture.
Oh,
we-
yeah, that one may be.
Yeah, we're gonna go with what our building department has taken here in the last
Is
little
it
bit of
the
time.
date?
Got the date
There's
on it, so-
nothing there.
Mr. Calhoun?
I
The
mean,
fence is
my-
repaired, there's
My
nothing
thing
to be
is
done.
this is the second time, and I mean, like I said, I'm not riding out there looking at it. People are calling us, and I mean.
I'm being targeted by somebody in my neighborhood.
Just
I
like
mean,
we
I don't
just
live in
explained.
Castle Woods. I've got pictures of probably 30 houses on my phone right now that I took this morning
That's
that
what we
were worse
explained
than
a minute.
mine.
That's exactly what I
I
explained
And
a
if
minute
you
ago.
give them to our group over
understand,
here,
you know,
we'll take
that's
care
not
of it.
mine, but somebody is specifically targeting me.
What about the mobile home? I mean, was
I
that legal?
I just used it for storage. It had tools and stuff in there, and I'm literally fixing to tear it down.
How big is your parcel?
I've got 9 lots there,
Okay.
and I'm literally fixing to tear the mobile home down. And it's not even a whole mobile home. I literally cut half of it off so I could use it for storage. I was gonna put it on the ground and use it as a shed.
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, there's no running water. It's all the way in the back corner of my yard. I mean, that's all I had it for. That was it. I mean, it's literally
Well,
like
it's
35 feet long or something.
I mean, it's already been declared a nuisance.
Right.
So we don't have to declare it a nuisance anymore, do we?
Yeah,
We
we need
do.
to declare
Keep
a
it.
nuisance.
And like I said, the only thing that's really left is that
Updated
mobile home.
state of it, the fact that this is a new proceeding.
I'm gonna, we'll declare it a nuisance
Why would we
and
do that again? I mean, how come and something happened already?
But I'm assuming that nothing ever happened with the prior nuisances.
He cleans up and then it, gets
Justice
back
Court
over
didn't deal
time.
with it.
Did he go to justice court?
has it ever been to justice court?
Yes.
Last go around?
I'm sure.
Well, I'm talking about the last time that I seen it. Last year.
No, it didn't go to justice court.
I didn't go to justice.
No, the last time it went to
We
justice
gave him
court.
30 days and he had it cleaned up by then.
Oh,
All right. We're gonna give you 30 days. If it's not cleaned up, and if I hear any more nuisance on it, it's gonna go straight to justice court.
That's fine.
don't we need to go and declare it then?
We're gonna declare it a nuisance.
That's
All right.
fine.
No, we're gonna declare it now. If we don't, we have to start all over again. You can declare it a nuisance and give it some time.
That-
Need a
Yeah,
declaration-
declare it.
a motion to
Do it
declare
and give me the
nuisance.
time.
That gives him 30 days.
30-day delay before justice court. If he cleans it up within the 30-day period,
Goes away.
we're good.
Declaring a nuisance.
All right, so we'll close that public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Thank you. So we'll close that public hearing. Mr. Slade and Mr. Calhoun's motions declared a nuisance.
I'll
30
second.
days to period up.
I'll second.
30 days to clean it up.
Justice
Okay.
court.
Second by Mr.
While Mr. Clark is here.
Mr. Clark.
is second.
Yes.
The 30-day window will include removing the mobile home from the property completely.
Oh,
within
it'll be
the 30
gone.
days.
Like I said, I've got it cleaned out.
Okay.
I talked to her, 2 weeks
Kathy.
ago?
Last week.
Last week. Me and my wife had been sick. I mean, we were under quarantine. I mean, I was down for 2 weeks.
We're not
So-
picking on you, it's just got to
I
be
know,
cleaned up.
it's somebody out there is just targeting me. I do get stuff. I mean, I work You know, I do a lot of outdoor activities, four-wheelers, you know, we'll park in the front yard, we ride them. I'm not saying it's not perfect, but within a half a mile of my house, there is literally 30 or 40 houses that are worse than mine was when they took the pictures.
And there's a bunch of them comes
It-
through here.
It is, but, you know, it's one of those things, I feel like I'm targeted because they're not in here, and there has been nothing done to their property
We need
in
you to set a
years.
precedence out there. Hey, my place is clean, get
Right.
your place clean.
Right, but it doesn't
And
work.
then
that way.
We'll make it
address
work.
them.
All right.
We'll
We'll
address them.
address.
Thank you,
I'll
Mr.
come in
Clark.
and bring in the pictures, and we'll see what happens.
Okay?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Clark.
So close that public hearing. We had a motion on the floor by Mr. Calhoun, 30 days declaring a nuisance, second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign.
30 days now.
30
It's
days.
not cleaned up, it's Justice Court.
Ms. Renee, you got it?
We got it.
Item number 4, Ms. Renee.
30 days.
All right, so, I'm sorry, Craig.
Item 4, you want to handle it, Renee?
I'll let you.
You're welcome to. Larry Tatum, LT Investments LLC. This is a nuisance consideration at Old Pearson Road Mobile Home Parks, the District 1 property. I'll ask for anyone, either Mr. Tatum or anyone associated with LT Investments LLC to be prepared to come forward. Ms. Renee, if you'll demonstrate with the photos.
All right, so we've received complaints through the years on this property.
Right, through the years. Right.
Rubbish, dilapidated mobile homes, inoperable vehicles, inoperable appliances. These pictures were taken August 23rd of '21. And these are the new pictures that were taken.
I've got
Well,
three
these,
sets.
there's multiple, yeah, we've been out several times. These pictures were taken February 1st. And then these were taken yesterday.
All right, good morning. If you would introduce yourself to the board with your name and address, please.
My name's Larry Tatum, 2058 Highway 35, Walnut Grove.
Walnut Grove. Good morning. Mr. Morrison?
Morning.
Well, you've made some improvement, but I'll tell you that it's, and I'm gonna just not hold words. This is the most deplorable place I've ever gone through. And,
Does people live there?
if you got people living there, and maybe that's all they can afford, but they at least need to be able to live in something that's, I mean, just what, you imagine, I've been out there and children are walking around in some of that muck. And you got those mattresses, and we're talking about way back in August, so you've not done anything. And point blank, and I got one person in this room, if he's willing, I want him to give an example of what triggered this thing that, and I mean, really, I'm done with it. As far as I'm concerned, they could all be gone, every one of them. And this is the worst place, for Rankin County to have something like this, you should be ashamed to have something like this here.
Sir, I would like to say, and you're right, it is awful. Better than it was 6 months ago, but still awful. And I know this is no excuse, but I want to say, I bought the property a little over 3 years ago. It was already distressed. And I quickly realized it was a bigger undertaking than I wanted.
Right.
So I lease purchased it to someone else. I have rarely been to the property and no further than the gate really in the last 3 years until this came up.
I got it. Okay.
I did not know, I knew it was distressed when I bought it. I did not know that it had gotten this much worse in the last 3 years until this came up. I have not been able to really be involved in any of the cleanup for the last 3 months. Because I had COVID, was out for 6 weeks, the flu, and pneumonia twice in the last 3 months.
How long you say you owned it?
3 years.
Okay, so that's my thing, 3 years. I understand what you've had in the last 3 months, but you've had 3 years. I'm born and raised in that end of the county. That's not been the most desirable ever. And it's gone down, 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 but you've held it, and you saw it distress, and it's been there for 3 years. So really, I'm not listening to a lot of the problem in the last 3 months that you had, because you've had it for 3 years. And I got a gentleman back here, that if he wants to, I want him to speak at some point, Craig, and tell about what he had to experience as a fireman in there, in this trailer park right here.
All right, Mr. Tatum, anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
If you would, just have a seat. Thank you for that. Mr. Morrison, you want to bring somebody up?
I'd like,
Sure.
Yeah.
If you would, when you come up, just introduce yourself to the board with your name and address.
George Guthrie, 135 Star Braxton Road, Braxton. I have been one of the owners that has leased the property with Mr. Tatum. Can you go back to a few of the pictures? The first one,
The old pictures?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All of this that you see right here has been cleaned up. Go back to the next one.
right.
All of this has been cleaned up. Ms. Vanek was out yesterday.
Yeah, I drove through
And she said that approximately 90% of what you guys are seeing here has been cleaned up.
It has.
So I just, I wanted to point that out.
It has.
And we've worked with them, they've gotten on me. I apologize. It was my fault. It was not Mr. Tatum's.
I'm not pointing.
And I understand, sir. I just wanted y'all to realize that it was not him. It was basically us, and it was my fault. I take responsibility. But I did want to point out that, like I say, Ms. Vanek had come out, and 90% of it is cleaned up. We will continue to get the rest. Here, the car, where the black truck and the car was at, black truck is gone. All of that's gone. See that black truck? Now, it's gone, and the car will be gone tomorrow.
Flip back to that picture where it just shows the trailer. Come on back.
Where the tarps are.
Yeah, come on.
That's gone.
No, it was one
The
you
other
had
one?
up there a minute ago, was frozen on.
It's,
That one.
okay,
Okay, are you saying that trailer's livable?
that doesn't belong to us, but it is not, sir.
It
They
doesn't
have,
belong to you?
no, sir. We've simply rented the lot. See, that's the thing too. Over half of the lots out there, we simply rented the lots. Again, I take responsibility because I let them, it's their yards, and I allowed it to get that way. But since then, we have given them notices. It has been, cleaned up. I have said, hey, look,
Somebody's
they are.
living in that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And y'all allowed that
Unfortunately-
to be moved in on y'all's lot?
No,
Was it
sir,
moved in
it
or
was
not?
there previously. It was there a number of years ago. He had come in and bought the property, bought the mobile home, and he has allowed it to kind of run down. I don't know if you guys heard about it here recently, but there was a lady, actually at that mobile home that had a heart attack and passed away.
I know all
They've been
about it.
struggling, yes,
All
sir.
about it.
They've been struggling and having a hard time, and I've sort of kind of overlooked it. Like I say, I take responsibility, but he,
But
at that, since
that
then.
trailer right there will pass inspection.
It won't. Mr. Dwayne has told us to get it out of there. I have informed him. There are a number of other ones he has told us hey, look, these just need to go. They were empty. He looked at them. He said, look, they need to go. And we've been complying with him and telling, working on that.
Where are they going?
Huh?
They're being torn down and going out of Rankin County. They will not be,
It's in the
they
trailer
were not
park.
selling them to
I don't
anywhere in
want
Rankin
to
County.
just
They're just gonna be
they
gone,
lease the
yes, sir.
land.
District 2 might have a
They
conflict.
pay rent
Sir?
to have
I
it
don't wanna see them
on
in
the
there.
property.
Just a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's a
sir.
lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Half of it.
And,
doesn't matter who owns the trailer, you own the property.
yes, sir. That's why, yes, sir. That's why I say I take responsibility. I sort of let it get that way, but as I say, 90% of what you're seeing has been cleaned up. We've taken care of
My
it.
thing is, this is not even healthy and safe.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it's bad to drive through there and see kids, little 8-year-old little boys and girls running around in that kind of.
Yes, sir.
You as
Yes,
a grown adult, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Ought
sir.
to realize that this is, would you want your children to run around?
No,
there?
sir, and I've
That's my
said,
point.
I've spoken to the individuals, and I haven't, like I say, I take
Yeah.
responsibility, I haven't pushed it hard enough now that,
Yeah.
like I say, Mr. Dwayne and Ms. Vanek has basically said, hey, look, this has to be done, there's no more
Right.
give, take, whatever, just get it done.
That's right.
We have complied and tried to, do what y'all guys
Well,
have asked and what
that's
they've
what-
told us to do.
that's where-
Yes, sir.
The trailers are uninhabitable.
That we're working with them on 6, and once that's complete, we're gonna do the individual
Owner occupied.
owner
How many
occupied.
trailers out there?
25. Well,
How many's left?
30 with the ones that were already continued to move out, that's empty
Moving
now.
out, we know you're moving out 5 for sure.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So you're down to 25?
There will be 25, yes, sir.
Well, we're
And
gonna-
out of
we're
that
gonna check
25, there are only 11 that we own, that are individuals at this, the rest of them are individuals.
But you still own the land.
Yes, sir,
Right.
yes, sir. So we would,
You own them all.
Sir.
You're responsible for the whole thing.
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Right.
If I could make a
What we
suggestion.
would have to do is say that, hey, they're no longer in compliance with the building department. They would have to do something with them at that point, or.
All right, thank you for
It
coming in.
sounds
Mr.
like
Foote?
there's a process of cooperation with this gentleman and with our group.
Yes, sir, we are
And that
trying.
we're making effort towards some cleanup. I would suggest that what we do is simply table the consideration, and come back in 30 days and get another report and see where we are.
Well, my understanding too, y'all are trying to sell it now,
Yes, sir.
or
It-
either it's sold.
There is a prospective buyer that is interested in it.
I understand, very prospective.
I believe they have the funds to actually bring it up to par and make it the way it is. Like I say, we've got it 90% of cleaned up. And we were just, we were looking at that prior, and then this kind of come along. We said, okay, hey, look, we need to get it done. They had told us that also. They had said, hey, look, it looks really bad. Let's get it cleaned
Is there a
up.
way we can halt the sale of this property till it's bought up?
Well, we don't have anything in place right now, Jay. We would have to ask the Justice Court, actually, we'd have to take it to Chancery Court in order for this, and I don't think there's enough time in between then and
I
now.
don't want to go back to this
What-
again with new owners.
Yeah,
And,
Right.
now we give us some more time. I
So-
mean, we've been 3 years.
Right.
and See.
No,
what we
sir,
got
we
first.
will get it done.
So I'm
Like I
just
say,
saying,
Mr.
even if y'all, I don't want to have to deal with a new owner. I mean, we may have to do that, but
well,
They're here, sir, if you,
Well, let's talk to the new owners.
I don't see it.
I mean, we could, like I say,
Huh? There they are, right there.
yeah, like I said, the prospective buyer's here, and like I say,
Yeah.
Dwayne and Ms. Vanek, we've been cooperating, and we are working with them. We are willing to do, through the new owners, and that's what we were full disclosure with them, letting them know, hey, look, this is what's going on.
So-
And they have complied. and tried to
where
work
we
with
are at this point is, and this would be a statement that I would assume would be important to a prospective buyer. Where the county is at this point is we are dead serious about this property being remediated, being cleaned up to the point where it's livable, habitable, sanitary. We don't want any citizens in Rankin County living in that.
Yes, sir.
None.
Yes, sir.
And we don't want any prospective buyer to inherit what is clearly going to be a long-term solution unless they are fully committed to meeting the requirements that we're talking about here today. I'm prepared, with this board's authority, to suggest that we go ahead and put what's called a lis pendens on the property. Basically, what that means is it's an indication to anybody, including prospective buyers,
Yes, sir.
that the county intends, if necessary, the county intends to consider coming in there and cleaning it up itself and placing a lien for all of the cleanup costs on the property.
Well, we're doing
Okay.
the cleanup, and we're more than with them, like you say, with Ms. Vanek and Mr. Dwayne.
Yes.
If y'all would do it continuous as 30 days, because they've given us 30 days actually to get the mobile homes that we're working on getting out of there now. If they would do a 30 or 60 day, maybe continuous inspection, so
I
that they
can
can see
assure you-
improvement, and y'all could see improvement, we can get this done.
If the
All right,
county
I-
is, I'm sorry, Jared,
Go.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
If the county is forced to clean it up itself,
No, sir,
No,
then
he just telling
I'm
you.
telling you right now,
Yes, sir.
if we are
Yes, sir.
forced to do that, what
Yes,
you will discover is that the cost for the county to do that is a lot higher
Yes, sir.
than the
I
cost for
understand.
y'all to take care of it yourself.
Yes, sir. We will.
So what I'd like to do is, the warning shot has been fired now.
Yes,
And
sir.
your prospective buyer or representative of your prospective buyer has clearly heard what the county's position is. So let everybody understand, we're going to make the owner of this property, whoever it is, clean it up
Okay.
to our satisfaction. So I'd like to revisit this in 30 days
That's fine.
with fresh pictures on where we are right then and just how much progress we've made to get us to the point where we don't have to talk about it anymore.
I don't want to hear, because people that know it's there,
Yes, sir.
and just like you heard some others say, well, we got nuisance properties here, well, look down the road. And so, and this has been going on, and I've said, well, we've been working on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, it makes
Yes,
us
sir.
look bad.
And,
we've been
and as you
working on
say,
it,
there
nothing's
are,
happening.
there
So
are
I
other
don't wanna hear
properties
that
around that look like that, but I understand y'all are, we're dealing with us.
All right,
So,
thank,
and-
thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much. So, Mr. Morrison,
Well,
your motion?
Have you heard, well, Mark, do you want to say anything, or you've heard enough? Huh?
Craig.
You good?
Craig,
Yeah, come on. I want this gentleman to introduce himself and you tell him your background, Mark, so they know you're just not.
Yes, sir.
Mark Eves, 133 Shallows Place, Florence, Mississippi. I'm on the Florence Volunteer Fire Department, 40-plus years. In the many years that I've been in and out of
Tell him about your
places.
medical background.
I'm also a nurse, been a nurse for 25 years. This property, the one trailer that the lady died in the other day, ranks in the top 5 of places I've been in over the years. The lady was in the back room, dead, this was when we had 20-degree weather. They were using some kind of heat. He said it was electric. They have no power. There was 4 or 5 trailers in the area. There's one power pole that one person's got a meter on, and everybody in the area was pulling extension cords in. We had 20-degree weather 2 nights prior. They had 1 lamp in the house. You had to be very careful when you came in the door to get to the back of the trailer. You couldn't even get in it for the holes and the dogs. I asked the man later, how can we help him? I said, are you renting this place? He said, no, I bought it from the place. How in the world could this man that owned it be able to sell it to this man to live in this? I mean, it was filth. The man needs some help. The people there need some help, but the property needs some help. It's not only these people who just spoke that own the property, it's the people that are there. We gotta help the people there first. This place needs a bulldozer. There's nothing there livable.
Right.
I don't know how they have any one of the trailers there is able to have a power meter. There's nothing in that area, those 5 or 6 trailers, that were livable.
Well, you see what we're doing, but I wanted them to hear what you had to experience and where you rank this thing, because I know you've been like 40 years, you've been in the medical field, you've seen a lot of things, and he called me about it, and I knew about it, and I was ashamed that more had not been done to it, and because we've been trying to work with people, and that's when, like I told you, we're stopping to work with, we're not working anymore, we're gonna get it done. And so I appreciate you coming forth, and so that's where we are, and you've heard it, and I'm glad you're here, and I thank you. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so public hearing will be closed. Hang on.
Have y'all checked that all those have power poles?
we've been to every power pole and the thousands of feet of extension cord. We've got those removed. Once we get the trailers that are there gone, then we're going, do each individual trailer. Make sure
What about the
Owner
garbage
occupied
issue? I mean,
trailers.
does all of them pay a
We've only
garbage
looked at the
fee?
vacant ones right now.
Yep, starting with the vacant, and then we're
that's a
gonna
good
go
chunk of
through
money.
So you have
Owner
no idea
occupied.
what kind of condition the rest of them are in?
Not yet.
just my imagination of what they are.
Are all the addresses, all of these got addresses and got garbage collection?
Who pays their garbage collection?
They do.
The owners.
Are they up to date on it?
Okay.
All right, so public hearing's closed. Mr. Morrison?
I guess we're gonna give them 30 days
Yes, sir. So you're going to table consideration of the nuisance
Right.
at this stage. You're going to get 30 days. And we're going to revisit this issue in 30 days. At the next hearing, I say 30 days. It's whenever our next nuisance consideration date is, Jared. That may be the 31st.
March 31st.
Right, March 31st. So we'll be revisiting this
Right.
before 30 days, actually,
Right,
but
we'll
on
be,
March
we'll
the
be monitoring
31st.
it all along, but,
Yep.
yeah.
And so at that point, Jared, if there hasn't been substantial progress made to satisfy the board, my encouragement at that point is going to be twofold. It's to file the Chancery Court proceeding and ask the court to intervene and, in fact, look at this as a potential situation where we want an emergency order for cleanup. And then ask the court's help there, and we'll have to file a lis pendens along with that, which is an indicator to anybody in the world that the county is making a claim as it relates to that property for the lien that will be established for cleanup costs.
Well, I'm glad everybody's here that has some interest in it, so everybody has heard, it's not secondhand, and I'm glad, but I really feel like you're gonna get it done, and we won't have to go to this point.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate that. I just hate it's come down to here,
I apologize.
and I hate that the potential buyer is having to deal with it, but in their defense, we're doing them a favor to help get it cleaned up.
All right,
So-
Mr. Morrison,
That's
you're,
it.
Better option than send it straight to Justice Court now.
No, I think it is. And the reason being, Jared, Jay, is because the Justice Court has limited jurisdiction. They are not gonna be able to provide for us the kind of coverage that we need for the lien. $3,500 is the max jurisdictional limit in Justice Court. So this cleanup,
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, but there's something else that can go along with that though to help them motivate.
yeah, well, there is the option that the court could simply look at this as a criminal law violation under our nuisance and assess either jail time or fines on the owner. So,
I'd rather than be out there cleaning it up.
yeah. Of course, the Chancery Court has the same authority.
all right, Mr. Morrison?
I think, well, I'm good with the way Mr. Slade's doing it, because that motion would be to go that route, because I think we got their attention. I really think they're gonna clean it up, and I'm glad
All right,
everybody.
so just so I understand right, your motion is to table it for 30 days?
Take it for 30 days,
Revisit on March 31st.
Okay.
right, and if
All
it's not done then we will take, extreme action.
All right, so that's the motion by Mr. Morrison,
Second.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. So item 4 is tabled. Anything else, Ms. Renee?
We do, I think I left it off the agenda, though. It was a return on Blake Rogers. He was supposed to be back today, and Mike was gonna go out and check to make sure Melody Lane, to see where the county maintenance ended.
Yeah,
So
that's
anyway,
right.
these were the
Yeah.
Oh,
pictures.
yeah, right.
So do I need to add that to your report?
We had done, I believe, if I recall correctly, Mr. Rogers was here when we noticed that we
did.
would revisit it today.
Yeah, okay.
So, it wouldn't hurt to add it.
All right, so let me entertain a motion to add the address. Ms. Renee, what was it again? Melody Lane?
450 Melody Lane.
450 Melody Lane, back to the agenda. I'll make
So
that
moved.
motion. Second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. So now we're back on the agenda, so Ms. Renee, if you can go from here.
Okay, so these, were the pictures where the logs and everything were in the road. These were the new pictures that Kathy took yesterday.
All right, if you would, just for the record again, introduce yourself.
Blake Rogers. My
Hey,
address.
that thing's sensitive. You ain't got to get that close. You can just kind of lean back, and you sound like a singer or something. Tell me your name and address.
Blake Rogers, 450 Melody Lane.
Blake Rogers, 450 Melody Lane. All right, so tell me where we're at.
I guess you could say that's the driveway. I mean, I got a printout of it. I mean, I guess you could say
Well,
that's
I guess
the.
Mike needs to weigh in on
Mike,
that, I
Mike
think.
needs to tell us where the end of the county
Mike,
maintenance.
what'd you
Mike
come up
Harris.
with there?
Yeah, that's what
Right
we
at
supposed
their
to.
driveway.
Huh?
Right at their driveway.
So the county road runs right up to the edge of their driveway. Is that right?
Now, where's your driveway?
Right next to that trailer house right there.
Okay, so the logs that are there inside the county right of way. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we've got to have cleaned up. We've got to have the logs outside the county right of way.
They saying go back there.
Because our county road runs all the way to the driveway of your,
They just gave me a printout. It don't even run back there.
I don't even know what.
Somebody look at it then.
I just went up there and they
Yeah,
gave me a
well,
printout.
hand it to Harrison, maybe, or Slade, one of the two, just to look at it and see what it says. Mike says the county road goes to the driveway area.
You just got that printout where?
Oh, right out the.
Right next door?
Yeah, right next door.
Tax maps.
Okay.
It's actually,
Yeah, it goes
it's
down.
actually a map that's hosted by CMPDD for us, it's not official, it's just, it's representative, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to do.
I mean, the driveway goes in like this. It's coming straight. That picture right there turns at an angle like a L.
Yeah.
If it got asphalt on that road, if it's asphalt on that road, that's part of our road.
Okay. Okay, and that's county road. Okay, so that's what he's saying. Will you turn right here on Melody? This is where they're saying the county road stops, right there at your driveway. So all these logs that are here are inside the right of way, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
when I bought the acre, it
Yeah.
didn't say nothing about it was an easement for the road.
Yeah.
You
So-
don't have to say it's an easement if it's at our
Yeah,
road.
yeah, that's it.
I'm saying, my dad had the same situation where when it was coming through his property,
So-
he said the county tried to put a road through there and was trying to pay it, said they could, but they couldn't because it took the court.
Yeah, all right, hang on, let me ask one question. Mr. Slay, do we have anything on the plat or anything else?
So here's
Okay.
your endpoint county maintenance right
Okay.
there.
We just abandon it.
They trying to say this.
We just abandon it.
Can we do that? Can we just abandon it?
Yeah, well, what we need to do is find out, does this parcel owner back here, this parcel owner back here access their properties?
Through the
from
county
public
roadway,
roadway?
right.
That's my uncle, that's why I was explaining last time.
I got,
Back here,
I'm kinda slow. You gotta go slow for me, right?
all this back, this road doesn't even lead to nothing.
All right, I got you.
This is my uncle land right
So I
here.
guess what I'm saying, this property owner right here and this property owner here is your family, right?
This is my uncle.
I got you.
All this is family land. This is my granddaddy land.
Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just double check our research, be sure we're right. Mr. Slade will go double check these two plats. Also, Ms. Renee's office, if we can also reach out to these two landowners that are across the street on this left side of the road. Be sure we have their consent. We'll come back in on the 15th of the next board meeting, have a hearing to abandon that road, and then we'll clear this out. It'll all be yours to take care of.
All right, because this leads to store. This is store road.
I got you. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out the right legal descriptions of each of these, come right back, get permission from these guys, have a public hearing on it, and then we'll abandon the road, and you can put whatever you want to right there.
Put a gate across.
You got me? You good?
If
So that-
y'all
that-
own,
all
if
right.
y'all own the road,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
got
what
you.
we're fixing to figure out, if we can make it where you own the road, it's yours. We don't
Yeah.
have anything else to do with it.
All right, you good?
Good?
Okay.
Good?
All right, Mr. Slate, what do I need to do on action that, or just the direction I gave is where we're going?
Indicate no action.
All right, so on probably the end of the month meeting, whatever date that is, the 31st, Ms. Renee? Hopefully we'll be able to set the public hearing at some point, have the hearing and decide whether or not we can abandon the road at that point.
So then we'll have to.
They'll have to tell you, they'll have to notify you. They'll notify you.
They'll let you know. They'll let you know.
And
Yes, sir.
that'll be a board action and not a planning commission action.
Right.
So we'll have to notice it for a board.
Okay, but you'll reach out to these guys right here and let them know what's going on. So, just so, Ms. Renee, just so everybody's straight on the plan, we're gonna go in, check the plat, be sure exactly where the descriptions lay on the two, sections, the two, areas of property on the left side of the road, identify what their wishes are. Come back, file the motion, Mr. Slay, or have the public hearing to go from that point to abandon the public road, make it a
So-
public road.
So just to clarify, is that something I'll need to do, Craig?
No,
You're gonna handle
Mr.
everything?
County, it's not, she won't be a part of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so no action taken as of this time, other than the directions given to Mr. Slade
That's
to
right.
proceed to, down the road of removing that road from the county set. Anything else, Ms.
That's it.
Renee, under item 6? Item 7 is basically just, next board meeting, March 31st, 9 o'clock. Can I entertain a motion to recess out of the planning
I'll
meeting?
make a motion. to
Second.
recess.
All right, so motion to recess out of the planning meeting by Mr. Calhoun, second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the light sign. So now we'll call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order for March 3rd upon exiting the Planning Commission. Mr. Slay, you're still up under item 6, so we got a ratification for item A.
Yes, sir. Gentlemen, y'all recall that we had an issue of a deadline that was looming, and we had a request from the Federal Railway Administration. The southern, I'm struggling with my naming here, but the entity that is specifically dedicated for passenger rail service in Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana has requested that this board indicate by resolution its interest, only its interest, and its support for the reestablishment of passenger rail along the I-20 corridor that would run from Meridian, Mississippi to Dallas, Texas. That segment of railway in the past, up until the late 1960s, actually served passenger rail. And then in the late 1960s, the passenger portion of the rail service was discontinued along that rail line. And it has remained that way for some 50-plus years ever since. There is an effort underway now to reestablish passenger rail along the Meridian Speedway line that runs from Meridian to Dallas. And so we were able, Daniel, you and I, the Southern Rail Commission, had a meeting with MDOT, and Daniel and I were able to go and to attend that. We were able to learn some information that we didn't otherwise know about that effort and where they stand in that effort. This is a resolution that does not commit the board to anything other than to suggest that it, among others, is supportive. Each of the counties that would be served in central Mississippi by passenger rail attended the Southern Rail Commission meeting. Each of those, as far as I was able to determine, indicated their willingness to support this. And so we would be in good company with this. You guys authorized us to go ahead and execute the resolution on your behalf and deliver that. It's been delivered, so this is a ratification of what you've already done.
Craig, how many extra trips would it be creating on crossings? I mean,
Sir.
How many more times
Well,
a day?
I think basically what they explained to us was they've got to go through and do a study on it all, on how it would break down and where the potential stop points would be. But it would be kind of around central hubs on locations, airport, for
maximum.
example.
That's right.
But a maximum of so many different breaks.
Two trains, two passenger trains
Correct.
per day would be the maximum capacity that would be established. So it'd be a train that traverses and a second train that is crossing. So 2 rail stops per day, not a significant number of additional train traffic, but significant enough to make an economic impact in our area.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to add to it, what spurred this whole thing was there's a bunch of federal money coming down from Washington to fund it. So that's what's triggered the entire thing to come down. I think the President of the United States enjoys train rides. So he may collect trains, I'm not exactly sure, but something has pushed him down the mindset of passenger rail trains. So this is a federal funded issue. This doesn't commit us to anything other than saying, hey, yeah, we don't have a problem with them running a train system along I-20's corridor to take it to Dallas, Texas.
Well,
Their
would
issue
there
was
be any
everything we're running north and south.
Extra funding maybe for some grade separation,
Yes, sir.
bridges?
Yes, sir.
I think that ties into the whole package.
It
I mean,
does.
this is kind of a full large view of the whole area.
Yes.
Overview of everything, this is a turnkey deal that all the bells and whistles that would go into putting a rail system between Meridian and Dallas, Texas would fall into that. They just don't have east-west traffic on rail. They got it north and south. So that's what this is, so. All right, so does the board wish to ratify this resolution?
Yes.
Make a motion. So a motion by Mr. Gaines to ratify it.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the light signs. Item A passes. Item B, Mr. Slay.
So I want you to turn your attention to the map that's hanging there on the wall. I want to thank Lance Cooper, as Lance helped us get this map put together, and it is illustrative. I'm looking around there, Lee. Hey, guys. We've got representatives of the Mississippi Rating Bureau here with us today for this particular agenda item. If there are any questions that come up, Lee has committed to answer them fully and accurately, and we don't have to worry about it. So that map right there is an illustration for you guys. You'll see that each of our volunteer departments are listed on your map here. Each has a representative color that would reflect 5 road miles coverage for each of the departments. And in red, you will see streets that are identified, roads that are identified within each colored segment that indicates the length of the 5 road miles laid out over our street identifier layer, okay? So if you see the red, that means that the roads and the residences and the other structures that are attenuated to those roads are covered within the context of a 5-road mile. The 5-road mile is important because that is how the rating bureau will determine whether or not a given structure can be covered by a policy of insurance to begin with, and then secondarily to that, within the context of their grading structure to determine what would be the appropriate rate. So if a structure is outside of a 5-road mile window, it's not going to be eligible for coverage, right? If it's inside the road mile, everything would then be dependent upon the rating structure that the rating bureau uses, and that gets back to where's the department located, how much manpower, how many vehicles do they have that meet our requirements, how much water pressure is available, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of those additional grading. You gotta get the 5-road mile piece accurate and before the rating bureau for their purposes so that they can determine exactly what are the 5 road miles. And so that's what that map is designed to provide. Lance has also gone above and beyond to provide legal descriptions for each of those segments that you see listed there. What you're being asked to do today, as simply as I know to make it, is to acknowledge that this is our 5-road mile map and to acknowledge that Lance's legal descriptions that also reflect these 5 road miles have been prepared and tendered to the rating bureau, and that we believe that we've got this project buttoned up for purposes of the rating bureau. Did I stand that up as close as I can get it there? We're close.
We just need to make sure, Craig, that the legal descriptions say whether it's a fire protection district or a fire grading district and not just list it by Puckett.
Right.
Because we would have 2 different gradings for Puckett, Philahatchee, 2 different gradings for Philahatchee.
I think we've got our naming nomenclature. I think we've got that accurate. We've traded communications back and forth. And I think both parties are satisfied that we have named things accurately so that the rating bureau is not left to wonder what did they mean. Okay, so that's part of what this coordinated effort has been as well. So we believe, and what you would be doing today is you'd be indicating that we want to adopt this as an official statement on behalf of the board with respect to the 5 road miles and the grading names and the protection district names, that is now accurate and submitted to the rating bureau for their purposes.
All right, the only thing I want to hear on the beginning of it is from Brett. I mean, your overview of the whole thing.
I mean, between all of us, we have worked, I mean, pretty much around the clock trying to move the pieces around. I'm good with it. There's not but 2 gaps up there. We have
Right there.
We have a gap right there, a gap, there, and, and then one over on the river, but there's really nothing there.
Nothing.
It's
There's
camp
nothing on
stuff
there.
like that.
There's no structures.
There's nothing there. Right.
So we, and by the way, everything that you see here in this lighter gray shade, this white area here around the airport, and these areas that feed up along 25, that indicates that it's covered under a municipal fire department.
Yep.
So that's gonna be outside of our purview.
Brad, your Puckett stuff fall where you thought?
Yeah, I mean, there's just maybe one road
You got
right
one,
now
yeah,
that's,
same way. One little spot.
that's not covered up there at that top north, yeah.
Y'all are welcome to come look at the map. At some point, you'll find bits and pieces,
They're all over
road
the
segments that
city.
fall because of the 5-mile requirement. They're gonna fall, there's no way to get those covered within a 5-mile window.
All right, so my fire chief's sitting over there, the great one. You seen this? Are you good with this?
Ma'am? Yes, sir.
All right. Slay, I've watched Lee Harrell drill people over and over on the legal side, so can you spin some legal jargon in him and make him respond to something while we got him in here?
Lee is one of the, he's one of my favorite Ole Miss guys. Lee's a good buddy, so I do want to say this about our friends at the Rating Bureau, and especially with Lee. They have been incredibly helpful to us. They've tried to make sure we didn't step wrongly, and we appreciate that. They're kind of watching out for us, and that has been exceedingly helpful to us. I just want to say thanks from the board. Thank you guys for helping us.
Mr. Cross, I would respond, you have that lady over there, and she's threatening, that I'm paying. About the radio, you know, I commend, you know, Greg and his team, Izzy, where, man, that they work with Richard and a lot, to get this right, make sure it's right. For the benefit of the citizens in the citizen of Rankin County, I wanna make sure I get the cheapest insurance I can. So, you know, commend them for working with us, taking the time out of the day, working with Richard and his team back and forth, so.
When do we expect to know on this, the new coverage on some of the areas, especially around the Puckett area, get the rating back?
It's Richard Watkins, I don't know if you guys met him before.
Over the last month of January, I went around and did preliminary ratings for all the projected gradings. All that's been completed, so all we're waiting on is the resolution from the Board of Supervisors, so we can, publish.
What you're doing now.
All right. Word, you got anything?
Okay, so how long, I guess what he's asking too, though, same thing I am, because we've got this other station here down in District 1. How long after we do this today before they could?
Insurances.
Yeah, insurance, affect their insurance, so they're calling regularly.
That's gonna be dependent on each individual insurance company. Some will apply it the day we publish it, some will apply it upon renewal of their policies.
Okay.
All right, Word, you got something?
But we can start letting them know after today.
You can start letting them know that the board and the rating bureau will have done everything that it can do.
So now
It's now the insurance
that
company.
was my
That's who
point.
they need to call.
They go start calling. Yeah.
Word.
And this resolution that you guys, the way I understand it, this stuff can get very confusing. The way I understand it, this resolution is gonna allow the rating bureau their concrete spoke that allows them to go out and connect a few more spokes, but there's still empty holes out there, the black lines of roads out there. We just don't want you to, next year or budget time comes in and we say, hey, we've identified, we've got a location, we may need another fire station to go. Well, we just approved that. 2 months ago, y'all said everything was okay. This is just a couple of spokes in the wheel of the huge hub of fire protection in Rankin County.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
looked at it. I've
just so
seen
we're all
that.
on the same sheet of music on that.
Yeah.
Because I think all supervisors, maybe not Daniel, but there are roads that's not gonna be able to have any.
There's little
type of-
spots that we know.
Well, and look, there's gonna be an area to where a fire station is gonna need to come out there off Holly Bush Road, in the Games's area side of it. I mean, as far as that response spot out of Station 3.
This is loosely tied to response area, loosely tied. I don't want you to get confused about that. This is a 5 road mile map. This is its purpose. That is not the same as response area. When we say that there are, quote, uncovered areas, that doesn't mean that fire truck ain't coming.
That's right.
It's solely for rating purposes related to the rating bureau's responsibility under
Their regulations, they gotta follow those. So we're doing our best to try to give them information that lets them be able to successfully do their rating work. But the coverage in the response area is a different deal. Just to illustrate, Stephen, we'll pick on you, because you've got a rural district. And so that's Highway 43 right there. And it's straddled by the Pelahatchie response in Leesburg. That is outside the 5 road miles for both departments. So that's a stretch of 43 that is not within a 5 road mile grade. There's another right there. I could go all over the map and show you specific places where you do not fall inside that 5 road mile. And there are probably gonna be residents here and there in various areas that, because of just the way the map lays out and the way our fire departments are structured, they're gonna be outside that 5 road miles. And they may have an issue with a carrier who does not want to provide them with insurance coverage.
This might be a Brett question. Am I losing anybody, that's, getting a worse rating from this map versus previous maps?
No, all we have done on this map, we have actually taken in some houses.
Yeah.
if they were outside of that 5 road miles to begin with, they're outside that 5 road miles.
So nobody is gonna,
Nobody had insurance that's gonna lose insurance because of anything that we're doing. I guess it's how I need to word that for you.
And I
I
mean,
understand.
would it be on our best interest when developers or something coming along in some of these rural areas that want to develop and say, listen, you don't have any kind of fire protection, or you got protection, but not,
your insurance is gonna be.
your insurance is gonna be high because it's outside the 5 miles.
Chief, would you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, in past years recently, we reduced our fire rating from a 6 to a 5. And what we did, Mr. Calhoun, Morrison, to let the public know, is we posted it on our Facebook page, contact your insurance agent.
He's gonna think it's karaoke night when you hand him a mic.
Is it on? We told them to contact your insurance agent or your insurance company, and we also did it with the media. We put it out in the newspaper, just so that the homeowners would know, instead of sitting a year or longer, paying a higher premium, because they may not want to, the insurance company might not want to let them know that their rate's been reduced. We're trying to push it out to them as quickly as we could through Facebook, through other, social media.
How quick will the insurance companies know?
Well, they're not gonna call their people.
I know
You
that.
gotta call them.
I know, you call them,
Yeah,
they
but
still know what's going on.
the insurance has got, they've got a route that they've got to take a
Okay.
proactive stance to go research it.
Okay.
All right, the board wish to entertain a motion for confirmation. Richard, you have something else?
Well, the question was asked is how soon will the insurance companies know? As soon as we get this information, we publish on the 15th and the 1st of each month.
Okay.
So as soon as we get this information, we're gonna publish it
30 days, basically.
Okay,
within 30 days.
okay, all right, that's what I need.
All right, so the
I
board
know I'm
was-
gonna get phone calls, I won't be able to tell them that.
All right, the
Then
board-
I don't go, I just called, they said no.
The board wish to entertain a motion of confirmation from the rating bureau and our county.
I'll make a
Fire.
motion.
I second.
The motion by Mr. Calhoun, second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with like signs. Item B passes. Thank you,
So-
Mr. Slay.
As soon as we can get certified minutes of this board meeting where this action was taken, we will provide that to the rating bureau, and then I think that will complete our responsibility at that point.
Okay.
All right,
So there will be a delay between minutes and getting that handed off, okay?
Probably within 30 days.
Thank-
Our hope
Mr.
is within 30 days, we can have that happen.
Thank you, Mr. Slay. Item C, I'm gonna do a little introduction for Mr. Slay before he comes in. He can kind of clean up the legalities of it. Basically, what this is there's a Senate bill that's already cleared the Senate that's now into the House that runs through the Division of Medicaid, but the main wording you'll see is the upper payment limits, which is called the UPL in the ambulance term side of everything. It's a collection rate side. What this allows, the whole goal of this from the county's perspective is to be able to eliminate the subsidy that we pay our ambulance company. That if they have more options to go back through a federal and through our state Medicaid area to get reimbursement, then they're allowed to put their own money up to retain reimbursement that will offset some of the cost that comes into the county. The point of our supporting of this passage is at no cost to us, but what it can do is save us money, that if they have access to this UPL method through Medicaid, is that we can eliminate the subsidy from our ambulance company and save us $100,000+ a year by not having to pay it. They'll be able to, it's a matching deal that the feds have through this upper payment limit. Right now, the wording simply just says that they may do it. The wording's being asked to be changed to say shall, which will require the state Medicaid office to push that up. The ambulance companies or the industries that are there put their own money up on the front side. It's matched through the federal side coming back. It could be at a 1 to 2 times rate of what they actually put up. By doing that, it puts the industry on the hook for their own money on the front side, thus lowering our cost on the subsidy side. So that's what this is, just acting for us to put a support resolution to the legislature that we would like to see this passed.
So is there a target goal out there for the ambulance, say this does?
Yeah, so for example, they could put up $1 million and retain 3. It allows them to charge a higher rate on their reimbursement rates, all through the Medicaid side of everything. But again, no cost to the county, no cost to the state, all on the federal side of it. It just gives them the ability to do it and take that route.
Well, how do we know we get with, no fees paid by us?
Because how are we gonna do? We're gonna track it.
Yeah.
We're gonna track and see whether or not they apply for it and put it in. It's federal money, so I mean, it's trackable.
So the first step in the process is your indication of support
Yep.
as a Board of Supervisors. for the state legislature to pass legislation that will allow our ambulance provider to participate in the Medicaid upper payment limit program.
Yeah, so right now, the language allowing them to do it's in there, but it just says may.
May.
What they're asking them to do is change the words to shall. Well, we'll put a little pressure on the state to forward this up on the federal side to allow these industrial groups, ambulance companies throughout the state to come back and get reimbursement at a different rate.
It's not specific to our provider.
Yeah, it's statewide.
It's eligibility for all emergency ambulance services in the state who participate in the Medicare, Medicaid reimbursement
For
program.
example, Bishop, here's another part of that. Let's say we started our own ambulance service. County did. Helps us out. Right. So, that's
There's
what
no
this is.
commitment financially
You're just
by
a-
the board
It's just a
to
resolution in
anything.
support of this passing.
Sounds good. What about, this has nothing to do with an individual that calls and the ambulance comes out, they
Yes,
say, we're sorry, it's not 1,800, it's 2,400.
Yes.
This is
It
a,
doesn't-
re-
that's-
They're billing
this is just
Medicaid. These are
This is Medicaid
Medicaid
reimbursement.
qualified
People that are.
riders. Yes, sir.
it allows them to get a different rate back.
Medicare.
Been unwilling to push that information out.
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, from their standpoint, maybe they just hadn't seen a critical need because it's not their money. It's not their company. You know, so. All right, so entertain a motion to adopt that resolution. Motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with light signs. Item C passes. Item D.
Item
Mr.
D is
Slay?
a discussion of potential action to adopt a resolution that authorizes changes to 4 polling places. This is hot off the press for your consideration. We've got, and there is time pressure now that we know that we will in fact be hosting a congressional primary election in Rankin County. We have, Mr. Guess has managed to stir up 2 additional opponents, Republican opponents. So he is being primaried, and we have 2 candidates who qualified for the Democrat side of Congressional District 3 as well. So we'll be hosting congressional primaries, both Republican and Democrat, in Rankin County this time. That means we have to stand up all of our polling places, and we have to prepare ourselves to host that particular election. It's an off-year congressional election. There is nothing else on the ballot, I don't believe, for us. I think that is it. I don't anticipate a significant turnout, but we've got polling places that have already indicated to us, current polling places identified by the board as our official polling places. We've got a need to change 4 of those for this primary election. Let me give you those. District 1, this will be the Westeen box 118. It's currently housed at one of the fire stations for Florence at 112 DeWeese Street. We are requesting the board to authorize relocating that polling place to Marvin United Methodist Church at 211 North Church Street in Florence. And let me say this now, Keith has gone above and beyond and has done personal inspections of each of the locations that we're going to talk about today, and has satisfied himself, I'm putting words in your mouth, that they meet the minimum standards that are required of us for polling places, parking, ADA compliance, heating and cooled, all of those issues. Each of these polling places has been predetermined to be consistent with our requirements. Okay, that's the first one, Westeen. District 3, 312 Dry Creek, currently housed at McLaurin High School. That has been a problem polling place for years for us because of the parking situation. Our elections always seem to occur in the middle of the school year, and so the parking is just atrocious at that particular location.
What's that, Bob?
312 Dry Creek. We are requesting the board to authorize relocation of that polling precinct to Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church Fellowship Hall at 446 Jerusalem Church Road in Brandon. Third precinct is 323 Greenfield. It's currently housed at our Greenfield Community Center / Monterey Fire Department number 2. That's at 3954 Highway 468.
And that's been an issue as far as parking and
Yes.
getting in and out.
Yes. We are requesting the board authorize relocation of that polling place to Bethel Baptist Church at 128 Bethel Church Road in Brandon. Number 4, this one is kind of late in the game. It's District 4, 416 East Cross Gates, currently housed at Cross Gates Baptist Church, 8 Crosswoods Road, big box. I know, Steve, I see you. I feel your pain, brother. Yeah. So we were notified by our friends at Cross Gates Baptist that they have Vacation Bible School on the date of the primary election, and they are unwilling to host the primary election for us. They didn't give us an option for an alternate spot on campus. They said, good luck, we're done. So
they're done forever?
Well,
or they're just
we
one
are
election?
proposing, Steve, that we consider this to be a permanent change. And here's the alternate. We're asking the board to authorize relocation of the East Cross Gates polling place to First United Pentecostal Church at 1368 West Government Street. This would be immediately adjacent to Ottenly Funeral Home. Keith went yesterday, met with the representatives of the church. They have a community center that is adequate, and the parking appears to be adequate. It will certainly be adequate, Steve, for an off-year congressional primary election where that's the only thing on the ballot. So what we would like to do, what I'm suggesting, is that we consider this to be a permanent relocation, but that we watch to see what happens for this particular cycle, and then make a judgment call before we have a presidential election as to whether or not we can keep it there.
I think that is my biggest box.
We're watching it, we're mindful of that.
It's not a change, it's just been a different location.
Right, but everybody.
Used to going there.
Yeah.
And the church decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, is any of the churches, you talking about Marvin, they got Bible school and all too, is it gonna affect anything there?
They've already made arrangements. It doesn't interfere that particular week. They've already canceled the events they normally have on a weekly basis for the November election. So the ones that I visited were excited to be a polling location.
Well, is this going, down the road, are they gonna still be as accommodating, like if this interferes with something?
Every one of them indicated they wanted to.
They'll work around it?
A polling location and be part of the
Yeah,
community.
the churches seem to be sometimes, that creates some problems with some of their activities.
This is a frequent conflict that we run into.
Okay, well.
And so we try to work with it. Let me say this about our process. In my opinion, we handle our business very well. Ms. Janice pushes out notifications about the election cycle to all of our polling places early in the year. We start that process early.
Yeah.
And we make it clear to them in that initial notification exactly when the elections are going to fall, so that they can look at their calendar.
Okay.
And so we try to be as helpful as we can be. We also tell these folks, and I think this is a good place for me to interject this, we make it clear to all of our polling places that are privately owned, we make it clear to them, when it comes to election business, that facility becomes an official government spot for the entire process of the election.
Good.
We try to make it clear to them, you are handing that location over for election purposes, and it is not to be used for purposes other than the election in that time window. We try to make that as clear as we can to folks. You lose your discretion to schedule things where you've committed to host an election. We gotta have it that way because we've got voters that have to know, where am I supposed to go vote?
Hey, Mr. Slade, let me add one thing on this. The sheriff brought this up, the safe room as a location. Would that help anybody's situation, using the safe room for the voting spot, or not gonna help it?
I don't think so. It's further. Most of these people live
In the neighborhood.
in that area.
Okay.
So let me say this, and the last thing I'm gonna do is get sideways my sheriff. But under our because that's a 361 shelter, Sheriff, we've got those federal requirements. I think we would have to actually get clearance from our friends at FEMA as to whether or not we could use that as
It could
an
be the day
election.
of a severe weather storm.
Yeah, so
and-
that's
We
the
gotta-
whole issue. And there are some regulations that we are burdened by that are pushed down on us that could impede our ability to use that as an official polling place. I wouldn't hesitate for a second to use our safe room in a situation where it's clear that it's an emergency. We get a late in the day situation where a polling place it burns down. It's blown down in an inclement weather or something. So as an emergency location, absolutely, we could do that. But setting it as an official polling place, I think we would need clearance from FEMA to be able to do that.
All right, so, board wish to take action?
I have a couple things
Questions?
that I need to change. Part of the redistricting, I took in Laurel Woods, and they voted somewhere else. I need to change those folks to go vote at the library of Flowood. So I don't know.
I think that's where they voted, I think that's where they voted anyway.
No, not Laurel Woods.
No, they voted, I think they came all the way up to,
Or did I say that? I was.
they went to a
Board of
different spot, yeah,
Supervisors.
yeah.
But also, over the years, we've been having a voting precinct at the Chamber of Commerce in Pearl, terrible location. I wanna move it and combine it with another voting precinct in Pearl to move North McLaurin to combine with South McLaurin.
Okay?
Yeah, that little bitty building, that's horrible.
Yeah, so Jay, we can do that for November. But you're not gonna try to do that for the June 7 primary, because we don't have time to actually make those changes.
Why are we doing these then?
Well, because we've already investigated all the polling precincts, we've cleared all of these with the election commissioners. We've already had conversations with the polling places, so we've got all that handled.
Well, this is handled too. I mean, my commissioner's the one who recommended it, so I don't know what other clearance we need.
Okay? Yeah.
How many spots is that? Two more? You're
Are you
combining- you're
creating or
combining-
combining?
I'm taking out one,
Taking-
or combining.
You're combining one, taking one away, right?
Right.
All right, just add that to the thing.
Okay, we'll try to get that handled.
Well, let me ask something.
I mean,
I'm not-
because if we don't move those folks from Laurel Woods, they're gonna be voting somewhere else, and they're gonna be in Somerville split precinct.
Well, they'll vote wherever this is not the kind of election, by the way, that's gonna make a whole lot of difference on, because we're not voting for county district offices. It's just congressional. So wherever they're voting right now is where they would simply go, and there won't be a split ballot, and they won't have to worry about who am I supposed to be voting for, because it's gonna all be Congressional District 3 race, and that's it. Where it becomes an issue for us and where we need to be on top of where our folks are voting is when we get to county district office races, and that'll be next year. I think we've got some judicial races for next year, and then you guys will be running
All right, so I'm good.
next year.
If you don't think Laurel Woods is a good idea, but I do wanna go ahead and move forward with closing that one
Okay?
over and moving it over.
Combining a
That doesn't sound like
precinct.
that'd
All right,
be too hard.
which precinct is that again, Jay?
It's the, North McLaurin will combine with South McLaurin.
Okay. Do you know where North McLaurin votes?
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce,
All right, so we want to move the North McLaurin into where South McLaurin votes,
which is the McLaurin Methodist Church.
McLaurin Methodist Church. All right, so, Mr. President, I would ask that we change our resolution that I'm asking you to adopt to amend that so that the District 5
Box is now
precincts,
combined.
well,
yeah.
this is actually precinct, where we eliminate a precinct. We're gonna eliminate North McLaurin, and we're going to show South McLaurin to include all of North McLaurin.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
And the polling place will remain the South McLaurin
Location.
polling location.
All right. That your motion?
Yep, I'll make that motion.
All right, it's a motion by Mr. Bishop,
Second.
second by Mr. Morrison. Any further discussion?
I have one thing.
Yep.
So what he's saying about moving people, we're gonna have the same problem. We'll wait and do that after the fact. I'm saying, since my district had to adjust, just like Jay, I got people that are one place, we're gonna need to combine them in somewhere else.
That's correct.
We'll do that after.
Yes, sir. The action today was to help us with a
Right.
primary
So I'm not
election.
gonna bring that up. Okay,
That
that's
is,
Yeah, because I know, I've had
driving
some
us.
discussions with Paul on some of this stuff too, and about moving stuff, and I don't,
Yeah, he was not able to get a hold of him.
yeah, so there could be more additions to this
you,
coming.
you have precinct changes that are coming, and not necessarily polling place changes, but definitely some precinct boundary changes that are coming that are the outworking of our census, okay? But the action you're doing today has to do with a primary election on June the 7th that we have to get prepared for because we got notified by polling places, you're not voting here.
All right, so I got a motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Morrison.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. So item D passes, Mr. Slay, with the alternate version.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Hicks, good morning. Item 7. Or item A under section 7. Janice got me confused.
Good morning, gentlemen. Item A is the ratification of the approval to lift the burn ban that was instituted on February the 15th. Because of the rains received, we requested that ban be lifted on February 22nd, which it was. We asked for
I make a
ratification.
motion.
So motion by Mr. Morrison to approve,
Yeah.
second by Mr. Calhoun. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hadn't quit raining since.
Any opposed with a like sign. Item B, Mr. Hicks.
All right, item B, if you'll bear with me here.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite the sheriff up in a moment, but I wanted to give you a little history lesson. On February the 6th of 1986, Rankin County Deputy Sheriff Travis Biddle was shot and killed while transporting 3 inmates to the state penitentiary. The 3 prisoners that he was transporting were cuffed and belted. They smuggled in a razor blade and a Bible, cut their wrist loose. One of the inmates pulled the deputy into the back seat. Another deputy removed his pistol and shot and killed him. As a result of
No, the inmate.
the inmate, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As a result of Deputy Biddle's murder, it instituted legislation that required a barrier be placed between the deputy and the inmate section. I'll invite the sheriff to come up and explain to you why we're presenting this morning.
So I approached by Representative Weathersby, and they wanted to do a memorial monument to Deputy Biddle, and he was asking me that what they need is a location for it. And I just wanted to get approval from y'all. My suggestion is with our other memorials in front of the old courthouse, somewhere out there in the front lawn.
You know this is Brian Grantham?
But yeah.
Grantham, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there. There's others you
And I
didn't
guess
know
Brian,
that.
since you're here, you go with that in front of the old courthouse?
Yeah, absolutely, we appreciate you.
Cause I thought about either that or in front of the sheriff's office, but you never know, 20 years from now, they may go to another sheriff or another admin, but that's gonna be the same.
Yeah, we'll know the courthouse will be there.
That sounds good to me, wherever we are.
All right. So what do you
Again-
need from us, Mr. Hicks?
Just to approve me
Approve?
to.
Place a monument in the
Place a
courthouse.
monument,
All right.
yeah.
So the board wish to
I'll
make a
make the
motion for that? Motion by Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like sign. Thank you,
Thank
Sheriff.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks.
Mr. Weathersby may need a resolution, a formal resolution. If he does need a resolution, we'll put together one and ask, and have Daniel execute it for us on the basis of your decision.
Been a long time coming.
All right,
That's
so
all.
item C, review of the agendas.
Yes, sir. Are there any questions on Monday's agenda?
Jay, Gaines? All right, I think we're good, Mr. Hicks.
We do have,
Additional business?
no, we do
Yeah,
have
some additional business right here.
a request for executive.
All right. We'll handle that.
So, we got additional
We'll handle that
business,
in just a minute. So additional business, the
Mike
livestock
Harris.
pavilion. Who wants to talk about the livestock pavilion? I would talk about the livestock pavilion, but I know absolutely nothing about livestock.
Anything over there yet?
I did the very first year I was elected, they asked me to come do a goat judging.
You did it?
Yeah, and I never got invited back. So I think I messed it up too bad.
Judge is over
Well-
now, ain't worth nothing.
I lost too. Gaines is right there. I slipped him money and everything else, and I still lost. So I did that not show good, or what was the deal? presentation?
There wasn't,
Yeah.
somebody else had more money.
I understand. Well, I need to know, see, I don't know what the range is, you know, I don't know where the range goes.
No, the auditor.
All right, so livestock pavilion,
We'll tell them.
who wants to talk about the livestock? Did somebody put it on the agenda,
Yeah.
about the livestock?
I don't know if we put it on
Yeah,
there.
but he's got to.
Ken Sullivan says email.
I'm asking for a little
Livestock
grace
pavilion?
here to get, my good friend Chief Barry up here.
No,
And
no,
I don't want
it's-
him
You
having
don't
to
want him
hang
to miss
around.
lunch or something?
Let's
Well,
do the
just
livestock. You
in
got
case there's
livestock.
a fire response, responsibility he needs to take care of.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the livestock pavilion.
Let me,
I will.
you guys.
All right, so here's the update of what he's asking for. What we've done at the reservoir, because of the call volume and all that they make at the reservoir, normally they're dispatched on the county-wide fire channel. So what they're doing is they're placing the reservoir on their own independent channel for dispatch stuff. So what this is doing is outlining the districts of his stations on which they will be dispatched, and the information that comes from our dispatchers will go to those sections or those station houses. So what's happening is the reservoir's tying up all the countywide channels because they're running 10 to 12 calls a day. So what this does, there was already a private channel for them already created. It was just never used. But by doing this, this is a map showing you basically how they'll be dispatched and sent to calls. So that's what we're just putting on the minutes so everybody can see it and show it. Scott, you want to clean that up?
I just wanted to point out, Mr. Ishii sent out yesterday the runs, the call volumes for January and February. We ran 283 calls through county dispatch in January and 228 in February. And it's a lot. It's hard for the other departments in the county to even get on and go en route. And we literally go en route, on scene, back in service, unless we need to talk to EMS or something like that. So we try to keep the conversation down, but that's still a tremendous amount of calls when you're adding 21 departments in on top of each other and throwing us in the mix. So that's all we're asking, is just to separate us out.
This is our busiest county department.
Yes, sir.
By all means,
What's wrong
so.
with that? Think it'll help. Sounds to me like it'll help.
All right, Mr. Slade, what do you need as far as to add this to, motion to add it to the agenda?
Yes, we're gonna need to add it. If I could just, I wanna point back to this map, because this is a good point. This is an excellent situation that came up right as we were discussing our 5 road mile stuff to help us get clarity about what we're talking about. This light purple lavender color here that reflects reservoir is their 5 road mile delineator. It doesn't have anything to do with what you're looking at, except that that map is the same order that you see right here to a degree. It's not exactly the same, but it's close. That map shows where reservoir is going if there's an emergency call. This map shows how far is 5 miles from those stations that are in the reservoir network, okay? So these maps don't have anything to do with one another, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to point out to you that this map doesn't have anything to do with where emergency response is going.
Okay.
Yep.
That map shows where reservoir is going, and that map now has broken the reservoir itself down into 3 blocks. They got 3 different firehouses.
Let's complicate it a little bit more. With the growth on Holly Bush Road, and a couple of guys have talked to me about it that feel the same way. I think we need to look at another firehouse. on the
Expanding
other side
that
of
direction.
25, back
Yeah, I think
toward
so.
Am I right there?
McLean, somewhere, you know.
Yes, sir.
Come down a little bit.
The county's got some.
I mean,
land.
I'm sorry, back to the middle line. There
Oh,
you go,
we'd
right
already
there.
talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
But we
not that
need-
far out, but
I
on
mean-
closer to 25.
Yeah, I thought we'd already
So-
talked.
Well, yeah, yeah.
See where the red stops in?
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as 5 miles
Yeah.
is from Leesburg's, one of their firehouses right there.
You know what I'm
That's
saying is
5
if you
miles.
work your way back to the west, right there,
Yep.
That's,
we need one in that area.
that's the
So
firehouse right there,
it's coming from the North Shore is
5
where it's
miles
coming.
right there.
That's right.
So you got an area in
Right
here
there that
on
would
Hollywood
do-
Would cover all
that
of
is
it.
That would get
outside the
Reservoir
5
East,
mile window.
All of it.
about 800 houses.
All right, the main thing,
They're going.
yeah, look, the main thing,
I'm
the main
going.
thing that's here today is that these are different response districts as far as dispatch. This is a
Yeah.
dispatch table on their own.
Yeah.
That's all we're voting
There
on
is a
today. so-
need for a fire station, but it's
Right.
nothing to do with the
It doesn't have anything to
calls.
Had nothing to do with this.
All right.
Okay.
So staying on point with this right here, so the board wish to entertain a motion to add this to the
So
agenda.
moved.
Motion by Mr. Morrison.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gaines. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with light sign. So then motion to approve by Mr. Morrison.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with light sign. That way Scott and Josh cannot miss lunch. See?
Appreciate
Maybe
y'all.
I was talking to Josh. I don't want Josh to miss lunch.
Thank y'all so much,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, so back down to the livestock pavilion. Who in the world put livestock pavilion on the district bid? Harrison?
It may be that I mentioned something to either him or the sheriff, I don't remember, I think it was Mike.
Did you get a haircut?
Nah.
Huh? Just combed it today?
He colored it.
Colored it a little bit? He looks kind of
color.
fresh. He looks kind of fresh with that haircut. You know, I didn't know what it was.
Really what I want to talk to y'all about the livestock, you know, we've done some rate increases about 6 years ago. I've talked to Ken and Keith, and we just kind of wanted to bring it up to y'all. We need to kind of look at doing some restructuring and maybe a little bit of rate increase up there. And we just kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion before we put a lot of time and effort into this. I know y'all gonna wanna see figures, and we'll get all that together for y'all, but, utilities, everything's just went up, and we got to adjust a little bit. Not looking for a big increase, but we've just got to do some adjustment on that. And, just wanted to kind of get y'all's opinion, y'all
Do you
good
have
with
what
it?
you want proposed in front of you?
No, sir, no, sir. But
gonna-
I'm gonna get that together if y'all interested in it, but if you're not interested,
I'm
we'd move on.
interested if we can get a new sound system.
We're working on that.
Okay.
We're working on that.
You can't understand, you know, the way the building's built, that sound system is just not good.
Yes, sir.
And you actually can stand out there and yell, and people can understand.
Well, it's the original sound system that was put in there, so.
Yeah, that is the sound system.
It needs to be updated.
I might could have voted if I could have ranked a little higher on that goat show.
On that goat show.
We're gonna have one next year, Daniel, and we'll see how we can work that out.
And just to give you a broad overview, I ran a few numbers this morning, and I know COVID affected one of our years here, but over the last 3 years, you're looking at about $150,000 in the hole versus what was collected versus what was paid
Over
out.
3 years?
Over 3 years, yes, sir.
You have it broke down per year?
This year, it's around 30,000 so far.
No, that was last year.
Well, this current
You're
year.
talking about this fiscal year, right?
From
Just beginning in
October,
Okay.
from October to current. And I'm not exactly sure what the prime time is of the year. That may be lessened through the summer. Last year, was about $10,000, and then I think the COVID year was about 110.
Okay.
But we're looking probably more like at 110 or a little more this year with just the rate.
Every time they hold an event, it increases the deficit.
Every time, hold it
And they just held a big little britches, I think.
Why is it every time they hold an event, it increase our deficit? We should make some money.
Yeah, but the cost of employees and,
We're at a loss?
Electricity.
Wow.
yes, sir, with the rates that we're charging currently, yes, sir.
Well, we definitely need to make adjustments.
And I think, Mike, you
Well,
said it's
yeah.
been 7 years, 6 years?
Right, 6 years since we've done anything.
I don't expect for us to make money on a park or a library or something, but, you know, I would like to see it break even.
We'd like to be able to
Just like
sustain,
the garbage.
you know, some.
Break even.
We'd like to break.
And the difference is, Jay, those bigger shows, smaller shows, you know, different things that weigh in, that's what we gotta sit down and break down, but just gonna take mine and Keith and Ken's time to do this, and we just wanted to kinda get y'all's
So what do you need,
opinion.
blessing to move
I
forward?
y'all say you wanna move forward with it, we move forward.
Bring us some figures.
And bring us
Something we
something,
look at.
okay?
Some numbers.
We just didn't wanna spend a bunch of
You got
time
your-
doing
You
this.
got your marching order. Bring us
Yeah.
some
And I
stuff to decipher.
think Mr. Slade wants to implicate on the
Just-
livestock.
This is a good opportunity for us to make sure that we're focused on exactly what the purpose of that facility is. And we gave it the right name. It is a multi-purpose arena. It serves multiple purposes. It is not just a horse
restricted arena. We have cattle shows, we have other livestock types of shows, we have 4-H involvement, we have children's events. It's a multi-purpose arena. And so I just wanted to help us all kind of refocus that it is in fact not dedicated to one particular type of activity. And so there is, there has to be some effort made by those who are responsible for overseeing its use to distribute those uses among many, many different types of activities. And so we're just not gonna allow a situation where one particular type of use dominates the use of the facility throughout the year. We're gonna try to make it available for everything that it's designed to host. And just want to make that clear. And unless the board has strong feelings that that's somehow not accurate as a description of how we use that facility, please tell me now, because I think that's kind of how we're gonna operate, is that we're gonna make it available for many, many different uses. Okay.
My next thing in front of y'all is kind of basically the same thing as livestock. I left y'all rendering up on your desk. This is something we want to look at and get some prices if y'all are interested in it. Just didn't want to spend a lot of time doing this if nobody was interested, but I think our permanent dumpster locations, I really think this can help keep our sites a lot cleaner and manageable a lot better for
Is there
waste.
enough room down there for this?
Oh, yes, sir. We got plenty of property down there to do this with. And this is portable. If we decide to relocate wherever we want to, if we wanted to relocate them at a different location, these blocks are going to be portable, so you can just take them down there like Lego blocks.
And this is where people can, instead of picking up stuff out of the back of the truck, throwing it over, you pull up there on the top side.
Yes, sir.
and throw it down.
If you can see in the picture, it'll be a rail system all the way around this, Brad. And each one of these dumpsters will have a gate system that'll be as wide as a dumpster. So they'll be able to, and we're gonna have our dumpsters up 42 inches high, which is a handrail height. And make sure it's all accessible like that. And you'll open a gate, you'll back up there, be able to just throw your trash right here. It'll be right here instead of trying to throw it 6 foot in the air over it. Hopefully we can keep most of our garbage contained that we have coming in these things. And then we're gonna try to put, I'd like to put a camera system on these facilities.
Yes.
And get with the sheriff and maybe get a tag reader of some kind to hang on the gates that we can track vehicles in and out. I think it may
Yeah, I'd
help
like to
him in
keep
some.
track of how many folks,
Well, it's
counties
like this,
using it and
Start charging people.
Yeah, and I mean, that's up to y'all
I
if
think
you,
we need to.
I mean, our garbage is getting,
You gotta have
I mean,
somebody monitor it there all the time,
We
Jay.
got somebody there all the time.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
a
We
trustee.
don't have Florence.
Well, at McLaurin, at Marquette, we
Yeah,
do.
Marquette. Yeah.
but I mean,
Are you planning on doing this in both places?
at our permanent dumpsters, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it'd be,
So we're gonna need to clean up that right there on Marquette, all the way out to the road and.
I don't know how much yet, Brad, we may have to clean up some. This is something that me and Tim will have to work on a little bit and kind of, I know we got some surveys of the property and just before we spend a bunch of time and effort after this, if y'all okay with moving forward, then we'll start putting some stuff into it and get y'all some numbers and see what all this is gonna cost. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be very expensive, and what I liked about it was, and I can't take credit for this, I mean, I passed this task on to Mike Word to find me something that would work for dumpsters, and he come up with this rendering, and we've looked at it, and I think this is and I've talked to several other people that's doing it this way, and this just helped them out tremendous with their trash.
Okay.
Monitor it and stuff, but if y'all okay with it, we're not asking, we just wanna move forward with getting y'all some numbers and stuff like that, and maybe a layout drawing of how it would sit on the site, you know.
What's the latest on the tire issue?
Our issue has gotten better. We have got dug into the contract, Keith dug into that. So no one person is supposed to bring over 25 tires a year.
A year?
A year.
Well, that don't,
I mean, that's a bunch of tires for an individual.
I was gonna say, that'd be a lot of tires for one
But-
person.
It eliminates the people that are bringing 10 tires
A
every
week.
day.
And getting paid to bring them
That's
there.
gotta be what they're doing.
But with the help with EOC Director Mike Word and stuff, we have really cranched down on Marquette pretty hard, on that because, I mean, you got people just,
Throw them outside.
Oh, that's what's gonna
I
happen.
mean, we stopped a lady the other day, said she was cleaning out the barn, and it had depressed grease where they just took them off. You know, she probably had 20 tires in the back of the truck.
Yeah, them,
I mean, they.
And
they
you
ain't
turned
have-
her around, didn't
Yeah,
you?
we turned her around.
So Jared, your opposition to, charging just because of your location?
no, not completely. I know it'd probably be a problem keeping somebody there full time.
Well, if we charge, we could probably,
We
we
did
could
charge
probably,
somebody down at Florence, but charge everyone that goes to Marquette. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I mean, I'd like to talk about it a little bit before I
I mean,
say.
we don't have anybody
put
at that location,
put you
no
on the
reason,
spot.
but I sincerely
I
believe.
don't
we
know
need to
what,
start
how you
charging people.
charge. I don't know how you'd start that.
Well, it's
I
really
mean,
easy.
as far as
Everybody
people
does it.
bringing
Literally,
recycling
I mean,
stuff,
it
I don't
sounds
see
simple.
why you would charge recycling, but somebody bringing a trailer load of junk, refrigerators and just stuff, I think they need
Yeah.
to pay something, but
I
now,
mean, Pearl has it set up based off of
Oh, they do?
so much for a truck, so much for a trailer, so much for a tandem trailer,
Okay.
you know, and vice versa, it goes up.
How does theirs, how does
Starts
theirs,
off at $15 for a truck,
for pickup?
for a pickup. I mean, we could start at 10 and then go up, you know, charge more for a trailer and same for the bigger. the-
Well, what we don't really want though, I mean, I understand we can cut that off. We really don't want dump trailers in there.
Right, right.
That's where we got in
yeah, I
trouble.
mean, that's where we've got.
we'll
no
have to
point.
handle it if they dump it out on the ground. We'll have to-
If they bring a dump trailer, we need to charge them what it's gonna cost us to go haul it away.
Well, no, I'd stay away from dump trailers, Jay, because I don't want them down there because we've had them tear a whole house down.
Right,
And bring the
right,
whole dump
yeah.
trailers down, you know, we don't need any more
They
of that.
continually do that.
Huh?
though. Sounds like they continually do
No,
that.
they're not now. We kinda got a grip on that.
Yeah, we got, I mean, we, actually, the Florence facility, Jay, I mean, we're not open every day there, so we've kind of slowed the Florence thing down, I think, Jared.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh, yeah.
I think you'll agree with me. I think the
I drive
people
by every
that's
day.
using
but-
it is the proper people that's using it, and,
By doing that, you just got somebody comes in, they got a hand throw it off. And so it cuts it back. I had some complain, but I told them why we were doing it and they understood. But yeah, they have to load it on to bring it down and throw it off. And this would help, because now they can back up and throw it in the dumpster. Well, I understand a lot of people can't throw something up 5.5, 6
I mean, a
feet.
lot of you elderly and people just, I mean,
Heck, the ones we got down there, they so darn tall.
yeah, I mean, they're 6.5
That's what I'm
foot
saying.
tall. I mean, they're
That's
over
what I
your
mean,
head.
you just can't get nothing in it.
Yeah.
You can't take a TV and hardly throw it over in there.
All right, so what do you need?
I'm just, if y'all okay with this,
I'm
I
okay
mean,
to
we,
look at it, yeah.
me and Keith and
put us some
Tim's
numbers
gonna put a plan together and get
So
y'all a
same,
rendering.
same
how-
plan as your livestock. Come back with some numbers and a plan.
Right, and
So
then
you got
we'll-
marching orders to move on and research.
That's right.
All right.
I just didn't wanna spend a bunch of time researching
got
if
it.
nobody was interested in it.
All right, anything else additional
I
business?
have one question. I just want some clarification.
All right.
I've been getting phone calls like we figured about the rate increase. But the biggest thing,
You handle that,
and
man.
it's kinda hard to explain. Why did elderly, the seniors go up to $60 from 25, I think it was? And ours just go up $25.
Ours went up 15.
What'd I tell that lady?
Well, yeah, 25 from 50.
So, I mean,
They went
that's
from
where the
60,
big rub
yeah,
came. and
25 to 60, I
understand, huh?
think.
Well, that's
25 to
what,
60.
the 60 is a break-even
Yeah, that's
point.
what I'm saying. But they were paying 25, now they're
Yeah.
paying 60, and that flipped out.
Yeah. We're still losing money, I believe is what Keith said,
What about-
at that rate with.
Well, that's what I'm trying, that's what's hard to explain to them. Why did
Well, it should have
mine
been
go up
gradually over
25,
the
why
years,
is theirs
been,
go up
it should
The
have
bad
been
answer is
increasing.
it just never been moved. It's just.
Oh, I try to explain that,
We'll let Craig.
but they kinda felt like it ought
Tell
to
us
be
something, Craig.
Should
an
we
equal ratio.
should we just do away with the distinction between 65 and older and disabled and just charge everybody the same rate?
Negative.
No.
Well, it's almost that now.
Over stirring stuff up, man.
Almost that now. I'm just trying to be able to explain, cause I tried, you know, they think it ought to been an equal deal. You know?
Like, I think, Jared,
I
I
think
think
the
people
letter-
call the thing, road office wanna complain about something, but when we go out there, that's the first thing they talk to us about, is why do we go up on the
Slate,
garbage bill?
y'all gonna have this letter go out,
Yes, sir.
or some type of information push.
It was in the
They
newspaper.
already know it.
Yeah.
I mean,
in
they've
Rankin
seen it,
County.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the clarity of that letter,
The problem is they didn't read, they didn't follow up on all what the paper said about how much we've been going. They just looked at, mine's going up to $60.
oh, I know.
Yeah, that's it. That's as far as they read.
Yeah, a notice letter is probably being mailed today.
Okay.
The,
Can we get a copy of it?
yeah, we'll
Email
make sure
copy?
you get a copy.
You want it
The,
mailed?
the notification or the notice that will be published in the newspaper will be published probably next week. It's gonna be published 3 times. Yeah, the next 3 weeks, so the official notification will be there. There will also be a statement placed on the bills themselves. So we're trying to be as proactive and distributing the message as widely as we know to be. I've had a couple of calls from media contacts and provided information there, so I expect there to be information in the newspapers. I know Chuck's article was in there last week.
Yeah.
So there's been some notice that's already gone
That's where
out.
they're picking up on it.
Yeah.
You know, I see their point. A lot of these elderly, my mom didn't even know what she's paying, but I'm saying, just like her. We get hers once a week, and I mean, I could go 3 weeks. And so, no more than garbage that she accumulates. We pick it up on Sunday, and it won't be that much. So, I mean, here she's gonna be paying, and so that's what the elderly is kind of saying, we don't generate any garbage.
Your rate adjustment was designed to get us to a point where
Yeah.
the amount of revenue received was adequate to cover your actual costs to provide the
But they feel like they're the ones being paid, that's making it, why wouldn't we, us too, more?
Well, Jared,
Like,
you have to
our fire
also
truck a little more.
realize they've been being subsidized over the past probably 5 years.
Man, you go,
I
I'm
know.
gonna let them call you and tell them that. I'm not telling them that.
I've been
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, here's his number, he'll tell you how.
Hey, and one thing, municipalities don't give discounts at all.
I don't get any discount.
So that's something,
I don't think Flowood even has, don't even charge garbage fee.
I was obviously being facetious about my suggestion, just charge everybody the same rate. That won't answer anyway. But
Made my
the
heart
truth of
hurt.
the matter is that you used your discretion
Yeah.
to charge different rates on that basis. And
That has been, that has been a loss, a revenue loss, for at least the past
I know,
8 years.
I explained that.
All right.
It's just the idea, it looks like we, as seniors, are making up for the loss.
Also the part of the problem that hurts us is we only had one bid come in
That's
to
exactly
choose
right.
from. So I mean, my point is, we're held hostage by Waste Management
Yes.
for the point of, there's
I
only
know
one
what
bid
you're
that came
saying
in.
there, but the others didn't.
that's why
want
we
it.
need that transfer station.
We talked about that, Ray?
We've made it clear in our notifications, by the way, and I'm going to encourage you to say this consistently if you can, when you're talking to constituents. We've made it clear that this board is committed to twice weekly solid waste collection and disposal, twice weekly.
And they want
That service is valuable.
There's no question they won't.
And in order to provide that service, we have to pay the cost to provide
But
it.
we're getting a good deal.
It's a heck of a deal.
I explained to them that we're getting a good deal.
If I could share this with you, and this is totally for your consideration. Here's how the math works. At the regular rate, at the full rate that we charge, you get your garbage taken away from your curbside and taken away somewhere else, and you don't have to deal with it anymore for $2.88.
How you figure that?
That's a heck of a service. That's what it costs.
Oh.
When
They're
the
gonna say,
when the
"No,
garbage
it's
truck
$60."
shows up and hauls it away, you're paying $2.88.
Seniors is cheaper though.
Seniors is slightly cheaper than that.
$1.90, I think.
Probably.
Brad's
I'm,
in that.
I'm scared to say.
Used to be under
I'm
$1.
scared to
Got his
say.
numbers. He said, yeah,
I'm scared to say. But for less than $3,
$15 a month.
I wanted to,
If I can ever get
wanted
word
that,
in.
so like I say, I reached out and tried, maybe some of y'all listening.
All right. Anything else under additional
Yeah.
business, Brad?
Yeah, I still got 2 more things, sir.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see
You
them
run
on
out
there.
of time.
Won't take but a second.
Huh?
We're looking at doing spring cleanup May 2nd through the 7th. Are y'all okay with that? That's kind of the date we've been doing it.
I mean, I'm fine with not having it all done at one time, scattered out throughout the county, break it up in a week. I mean, whatever work out better for waste management to keep up with the dumpsters.
You talking about different areas?
Yeah, different areas.
Well, the only problem with that is people get confused. Where do I go, which week? So I think having it once a week, everybody's on the same page when they call up.
Okay.
You don't have,
I just, we've run into issues the past 2 years on getting the dumpsters empty.
Well, part of that,
Cool,
I think,
and
may
that
have
was
to do with
COVID too.
Yeah,
That was
I think
COVID.
that had a part of it.
Yeah,
many-
we've always had that
Too many
problem.
honeydew projects.
We hadn't had
Months
that
of-
problem
all right.
before, until like the last.
All right, what else you got, Harris?
We're looking at doing hazardous waste, June 4th, if y'all okay with that.
Uh-huh.
That'll follow.
Saturday?
That'll be a Saturday. It'll be at the, safe room. I gotta check schedule, make sure that date's good, but, we're looking at that there, if y'all okay with it. We're not gonna vote on it, we're just putting it on, getting ready to put it on the agenda for y'all's approval, but we wanted to check y'all's dates on that.
What else you got?
One thing I did want to bring to y'all's attention, we ain't got to take no action on it, but fuel is getting to be a pretty good, distress out here right now.
Oh, what?
The fuel
Fuel.
costs.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Fuel costs is jumping. I mean, we cut a, and I'll just be an example, we cut a PO yesterday and we couldn't even get our fuel. Because, just because we cut a PO today, it went above our margin. It went like 45 cents above our margin. They give us a margin.
Hey, it's $3.70 in Brandon today. Coming
It'll be over $4 by this weekend.
Well, it's already over $4 at the truck stops now, it's like $4.39.
Yeah.
It's $1 more.
Are you serious?
Yeah, at Love's, the Flying J.
Yeah.
I did a job there, and I was looking, I filled up in Florence at $3.39, up here it's $4.39.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm bringing this to y'all's
Can't whip the
attention,
truck in.
because, I mean, I've talked to the oil companies, this thing's gonna get pretty hairy before we get some relief, and I mean, we could see some different things, but I don't need no action, I just wanna let y'all know, in case we do get in trouble with fuel, that if Mr. Slay shoots y'all something out, we know what we're dealing with, you know.
Slay, is there any way to declare any kind of emergency that would freeze it from the state level? Write a letter from the Attorney General's office to say, hey, look, declare a state of emergency on this fuel cost that would shut the price gouging down?
Yeah, so that's actually gonna have to come from the governor.
Yeah.
Under
I
Title
didn't know if
33.
we could write a letter just saying, hey, just by the way,
Yeah, we could request
ask it.
action through the governor's office for an emergency declaration that could help stabilize the pricing, but I don't know how open.
Everybody's fixing to get in this deal right here. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know the sheriff's gas budget's gonna go nuts.
Yep.
But,
Well,
and it has to, I mean,
Well,
We're
that's what I
over,
just said,
we're
$1
over
difference
50%
between the
in
station
ours
and
right
the
now.
truck stop.
Get
That
them
ain't right.
electric cars and electric dump trucks.
Right. The market's gonna have to stabilize. I don't know how long the declaration would need to be, Daniel, and
Yeah,
that
I
way,
don't know.
that
I mean,
may
I'm
be
just
why
saying,
there's some resistance.
we're just gonna get into a mess. But I think everybody's getting in a mess. I was just trying
Yes,
to
sir.
think.
The oil company told me they hoping in the next couple of weeks, things are gonna settle down with letting these reserves go. I'm just letting everybody be aware. I know I've talked to my guys, me and the sheriff talked. I mean, we're trying to get everybody to conserve fuel as best we can, but we still gotta go out and work every day.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I agree.
I
Still
mean,
gotta
my
go.
operation knocks out over
So-
1,000 gallons a day, you know.
Kind of a big election cycle as well. We got a pretty important election coming up in November.
Yeah.
And the politics tell me that there won't be a whole lot of incentive to make the current occupant of the White House and the current party in charge look good. So I don't know that we're going to see much in the way of Republican incentive to try to stabilize fuel pricing, because that really hurts the other side.
Yeah. I understand.
So,
You know,
Alright.
that fuel product, gas affects the average person more than anything else.
no question.
I mean, it takes away from going to the movies.
So it's a
going to
powerful
eat out, going to
election
ball games,
item,
whatever.
isn't it?
It takes away.
It's a
Cash
powerful
flow.
election item, and
Kills your
so,
cash flow.
in a weird way, that being an election situation, we may be dealing with
won't let 'em sing.
high-priced gas for quite a
Alright.
few months.
Mr. Harrison, what else?
That's all I had, Mr. Cross,
All right.
and board. I mean, I just wanted to kind of let y'all be aware of the
for
issues
bringing
we're
that up.
battling out there right now with things. And we're trying to be as conservative as we can with everything right now.
Mr. Calhoun, anything additional business? Jerry, anything else?
I make a motion to discuss the need going to executive session.
All right, so a motion
Second.
by Mr. Bishop to go into executive session for what?
Personnel and land
Personnel.
acquisition.
You good?
Yep.
The motion by Mr. Bishop for personnel and land acquisition, second by Mr.
Yeah.
Morrison. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. So then a motion to go into executive session for the
Hey,
same reasons by
Hey,
Mr.
good
Bishop,
job on that out there. I think we got their attention.
second by Mr. Morrison.
Second, yeah.
Any
Got
further
their
discussion?
attention.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed with the like sign. Order the rest. Yeah.